I'm pretty sure you know, but I don't know these niggas. Like I never watched their videos. KSI and Logan Paul supposed to be fighting.
Yeah, yeah. Like for the fucking second time, right?
Yeah, yeah. Rematch.
I'm trying to see like, who do you know? Was it a tie the first time, or like what happened the first match?
I think Logan Paul won. It was like a decision or some shit. Because I don't think anybody got knocked out. Not as far as I'm aware.
Man, that pussy ass shit is set up, dog. All that shit is set up. I mean, it's not bad that it's set up. I guess it's a good thing, but like, still though, bro. Like, it's fine to use shit as a publicity stunt, but like, I'm trying to see niggas they ass bust. They talk a hell of a lot of shit too. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah,
they need that beating.
it seemed like someone was telling me about like their little pre-fight thing. Like when they hype everything up or whatever. He said that Logan Paul was asking KSI math questions and shit. I was like, what? I was like, that's how you hype a fight up? What the fuck? I don't know. I didn't see it. That's what they told me. So
Oh shit. Yo, what's good? What's good, Spidey?
What's up, my son? How are
Uh,
you
what's
today?
good?
chilling, sweetheart.
Yeah.
What's good, Griever?
Not much, man. Just working on a Record of Ragnarok video.
What the fuck is that?
Valkyrie.
Oh, Valkyrie show. Okay, okay.
Yeah, the Record of Ragnarok or something I can't pronounce. Valkyrie.
Good, good, good. Well,
Dude, like there's too many U's in that fucking thing. It's like Shumatusa or something. So
Griever. That last Food Wars episode killed me. I'm not gonna lie.
which one, man? I haven't watched episode 5. If that's out.
I think it was episode 4. I'm pretty sure. I think.
Oh, 4. Is that where it was Megami versus the lolly chick?
Yeah, I was rooting
Yeah.
for Megami. So that
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, damn, man. I mean, I was
Yeah.
glad that Takumi. I was glad that Takumi won, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, you knew Eisen had to lose. Like him against Soma would just be like a beating. But it was good talking to me one. But I'm with you. I'm a little, especially I only mind so much because I like Shinamaya, and he trained her. Like he was like, "Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna beat this French shit into you, and you're gonna kick ass." And she still kicked ass, but in the end of the day, she lost like that. But then again, we also had a bunch of losses in the episode before that. Like Kuga lost against Sukasa. You knew that was going to happen, but you
yeah.
know, like but still,
Oh
I was
yeah,
I
when that
was
when that matchup happened, I was like, yo, he's gonna get. There's no way.
I
Just no
kind
way.
of I kind of thought like they're all 3-0s. I kind of had a feeling that like maybe someone would be like 2-1. Like they're so decisive. Like nobody's actually going. You know what? I'm going this one. You know what I mean? Haven't really seen
Yeah.
much of that. That's that. So I wish we did.
so this is we're already live and shit. Welcome to the weekly roundup. This is where we talk about all the big manga that we read throughout the week, all the big events and shit, and throughout the community. Any beefs in your Discord, any shit that we threw out that was balling or whatever. And yeah, and then we speculate, talk about anything, ask questions, take questions
Are
from
we
everybody.
watching Minecraft?
Uh, hey Kaizen, you gotta hop out, bro. This is stream, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you get it. Niggas just coming through because it's open. But yeah, we already know. So I guess food wars. Y'all niggas talk about that shit. We're gonna be covering Solo
Yeah.
Leveling, One Punch, One Piece. Um, you don't read My Hero, right, Spidey?
Shit.
Nah.
Oh, I bet. I thought you was gay. Um, and I think that's about it,
But
right?
you read my hero now?
Nah.
Attack on Titan. That last chapter, boy. Woo.
Well, you gonna be the only one talking about it, ain't you?
I want
Yeah.
no, yeah, because I don't know, if y'all read Attack on Titan.
No. I like. Don't feel bad though, man. Like I could sit here and talk about Black Clover and Valkyrie and Doctor Stone, and nobody would know what the fuck I'm saying. So
Damn, bro. Nobody would want to know what the fuck you were saying.
No, I just don't want to
Fuck that
talk about
Clover.
Attack on Titan because I don't know, because some people that want to be anime only. So
mm
Facts, bro. Supporting that.
yeah, I find that a lot. That's what I have to be careful of actually when I do my my Taizai reviews for the latest season, and same with like my Food Wars ones right now. Like I've already read the series. I know what's going to happen, but I have to be careful to only discuss the content in the episode. You know.
yeah.
What do you read, Spidey?
Oh shit, man! Other than like Berserk, which I don't even, you can't really count that because it comes out like once every 2 years. I just read One Piece, One Punch, and I stay caught up on JoJo. But everything else, like, that's really it, to be honest. Like everything else is already. I guess I'm just catching up to that shit.
You said One Punch though, right?
Yeah, of course, man. Like, come on, Grim.
Thanks, nigga. But you don't read Solo though?
The last chapter I read was when the dad, like, he beat the shit out of the one dude that was looking for what is it, Sung Jin Woo?
Yeah.
Like that's whatever the main character's name is. Like that was the last chapter I read. So
You're big trash, bro. Everything has happened since then, my nigga.
I gotta catch up then.
That shit big raw, dog. I'm gonna hop on it in a little bit, but we're gonna do some some together community shit, no homo, before all that. So I guess One Piece is what we all like fucking reading shit, right?
Yeah.
Dang, we need Madre in here right now. So what's up, dog? What y'all niggas thought about this nigga cutting that big ass pig and shit? Like, what's good?
Well, hold on. Before you talk about that, I just want to say, I was exposing people who don't like Orochi. All right, because like I understand not liking Orochi because he got the goofy design. Like it's goofy as shit, and I like that's not what I'm
Looks like
talking about.
Wario. He looks like Wario.
Yeah, he's goofy as shit. But when I kept trying to ask people, I was pressing people as to why they didn't like Orochi, and they were like, "Oh, well, he's a fraud and all this." I'm like, it's not like I don't believe that. I believe it as well. It's just that, like, one of the biggest complaints people had was like he was a subordinate of Kaido or whatever. He would use like Kaido as like the big brother type of nigga. Like, yo, I'm gonna get Kaido on you or something like that. I'm like, but y'all niggas love Doflamingo. Orochi be putting in work.
Yeah.
He's shooting CP0 members in the face and shit. I gotta give him some respect.
He lucky to be accomplishing shit. Like he lucky really.
I don't know. Like, I don't think Doflamingo is a fair comparison because, like, I mean, we haven't really seen the rest of the flashback, so I guess it's a little like premature to like say that. But even without Kaido, Doflamingo kind of like built his own like criminal empire, and then Kaido became like a buyer later on. So with Orochi,
I mean,
I just recently read the chapter, and like the biggest thing that's on my mind is like, so like, did Orochi like fucking finesse his way all the way up, or like did he put in work? Like, because he started the thing that came to my mind was basically like fucking 0 to 100, nigga. Like, like this nigga made it and shit. So like,
well, I kept saying in my reviews, I was saying the same thing that like Orochi clearly, I always believed that he was probably one of the people. I didn't think he was actually working for that household, like he had such a deep connection to Yasui or anything. But I always thought like he was probably one of those like poor people that like was starving and looking for cash and sort of idea, and always looked up to like if I run this country one day, and then for whatever reason like. I didn't know what it was, but I said, like, did Kaido give him the Yamato no Orochi? Did he say, hey, I can use this guy? Another theory was that he was a nobleman originally, but a low-level nobleman that, Kaido used as an in, and then it was kind of like, oh, well, I'll take over the country, and you'll be the god of the country, and blah, blah, blah. Like, so this really leads into what I think a lot of people thought about Orochi is that he was a weasel from the get-go, and he worked his way up, and he struck some type of deal to take control of Wano. You know.
Yeah, I'm with the whole because I haven't been reading. I don't know when's the last chapter of One Piece I read. I'm just going off of what other people have been telling me and whatnot, what I've seen from like where I left off at with the Rochi. It's like it's not like a Spandam situation. Like Spandam should have never been the leader of CP9, but he was there because of nepotism, because he had connections, because his dad. Like Kaido has no reason to have a Rochi, a weak nigga like Orochi as the shogun of Wano. So I feel like he had to have some degree of
Competence.
yes, competence, strength, whatever you want to say. I don't think he's like a complete phony like some people are trying to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, this nigga's
yeah.
from rag to riches, bro. We're about to get the sympathy story for Orochi.
I don't think it'll be a sympathy because even in the last panel, like we saw, like he's one of those. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll do what I can. Can I have some more? I'm gonna pretend to be Oliver Twist. Meanwhile, he is a corrupted motherfucker who's always had delusions of grandeur. It just happened to work out. He's still not a good. He won't be sympathetic at the end. I know what you're trying to say, Grim, but it might sound like a sob story, but nobody's actually gonna feel that little twinge of bad. You know what I mean?
We should, if like. Because this next phrase, remember, like, storytelling is not concrete and there is no rules, there's just guidelines. A good ass fucking villain will make you feel for that nigga, bruh. Regardless of like what the final result's gonna be, like a good ass story, a good ass character will make you connect. Even if that nigga is gonna commit genocide, a good ass author will make you want to commit genocide too if you were in that position.
This is One Piece, man. Like I think, like I get what you're saying, but like it's not, especially not for no nigga like Orochi. Like
yeah,
I feel like
no.
he's gonna be like a Kainu, and like in which he will. Maybe it's premature for me to say this, but he's just written in a way where you're not supposed to like him. He's not necessarily gonna have a sad backstory. He's just gonna be a skeevy, weaselly nigga. Like
I can't.
I don't think
he seemed too competent the entire arc. Like Orochi has never been like a complete failure the entire arc. Niggas have ridiculed him. He has a goofy ass design and shit. And like he's always like fucking like cautious and like anxious and shit about shit. But like if you've noticed what he's anxious about and cautious about is real. He even literally went out and stopped the plan. Like he's that nigga's actually been on his shit. So
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. Like when I said the whole Orochi and Doflamingo thing, I'm not comparing them as villains because obviously we got way more for Doflamingo because he's been a character in One Piece pre-time skip that we knew about, and he's a warlord and all this other stuff. We only knew about Orochi really from this arc. But
Yeah.
when I bring in a comparison, I'm talking about the criticism people had for Orochi, because like on paper, I'm not saying what we speculate because we are speculating that he's a fraud and there's good reason to think that. But so far, what's been in the manga, we can't say definitively that he is a fraud or he has no skills that some people seem to think. Is really because of his goofy design and the fact that he uses Kaido as like a crutch, basically, that people take him lightly.
either way, like I don't mean to use Griever as an example, but like the people will see when it happens. Like, for example, the whole Corazon backstory. Like we really weren't expecting stuff to get like that deep and that connected, but like he's done it before. We've seen it in the Nami arc. We've seen it countless times. That like they're even.
Yeah,
like,
but those characters are sympathetic. Like from the get, like that's what I'm saying. Like One Piece, I think it was Satsuki or somebody brought up the fact that like Orochi is not going to be no matter what Oda tells us about Orochi. Like, oh man, you kind of have to feel bad. No, because we have stories like Brook, like Nami. We have so much sadder stories in this series that a villain being a villain like that. Like Nami's done some shitty shit, Robin's done some shitty shit, like and stuff. But it's still like I don't feel bad for Doflamingo. Like Doflamingo's kind of had like, oh man, like you kind of feel bad for the poor kid Doflamingo and what happened, but not enough to make me think that anything's okay. Not enough for me to go, oh man, like I get where he's coming from, or I understand. No, he's fucking evil.
We're not saying
Orochi-
that we're saying
Hey,
that his actions are okay. We're not justifying what he does at the end. We're just saying that like,
Hold on now.
well, I was listening to this podcast like a few weeks ago, and this is like real life shit. Like, so like this idea was like it makes sense in the real world. You can't like, it's dangerous to minimize somebody who does something like genocide, like Hitler, and call him crazy. Like you can't call Hitler crazy because like that's dangerous enough to like allow another person who has or may go down a similar path spiral into a similar result. And now we don't know why. Oh, they're crazy or whatever. No, you can't be like that. It's like there's a reason why people do things or why people get to certain results. And like by understanding that, it's not necessarily that you're saying it's okay or like that you're accepting it. It's like that like you just get it and you can handle that better now. Or you can like all issues are better when you understand them. So it's the same as that concept. Like it's not that we're sympathizing with Flamingo or seeing that Flamingo's good or bad or anything like that. It's just that like by understanding Flamingo, like my nigga, like he just seems that much more badass. And
it gives context. I'm not arguing that, and I'm not saying we're trying to justify the actions of these characters. I'm just saying that like sympathetic to me is a character like trying to keep it within One Piece is something like Nami. She was stealing and stuff, but then we understood the reason she was stealing and stuff. And then it's like, okay, yes, still stealing from a lot of people. Some good pirates, some bad pirates was still wrong. Her working for Arlong is still wrong, but we at least understand why she was doing it and stuff, and we can sympathize with it. I can't
it's the same thing for Orochi.
when you it's not because I
Not the
can't
same
understand.
thing.
I can't understand Orochi's actions. Like I can understand him feeling a certain way, but if you can't justify his attitude towards those actions,
Yeah, we
then
can.
it's not.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is I can't. I won't find
But we
that.
haven't gotten it. What we're talking about is that like, are we seeing hints or not of like this character being or having the capacity to give us a sympathy for him, right? To receive sympathy from us. So like you're saying that no, he's not in position to like to eventually get that. We're saying that he is, but like
Yeah, I'm saying no matter what Oda tells me about him, the ends aren't gonna unless it showcases that the fucking Kazuki clan were actually going to burn Wano to the ground or something, and Orochi actually retroactively saved it by putting it under Kaido's rule. I mean, it's possible if Oda shows me something like. I'm just saying, if Oda shows me something like that, then I can say, okay, yeah, I'll take back what I said.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't like that's too black and white. You're saying that like the only way for him to have sympathy is if somebody like, or if like there's a clear bad side. But like half of these issues aren't like that. What if in Odin's rise and like doing all his glorious things that are great for Japan or great for Wano or whatever, they are like inadvertently like making Orochi's life horrible. Like extremely horrible, and it's not Odin's fault. He's gonna keep doing the right things because it's good for the people of Wano or whatever. But what if that's happened? And it's not implausible for that kind of story to happen in One Piece.
It could, but we've seen the state of it now, and we saw the state of it 20 years ago. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It would have to be an extreme circumstance to showcase to me that Wano was better off with Orochi being in power, doing the evil shit he's still doing, but him being in power was the lesser of two evils. If Oda doesn't show me that, then nothing that he shows me is going to be sympathetic. It's like, yeah, I understand Doflamingo was pissed at his dad. Doesn't mean he should have fucking killed him. Like, his dad was trying to do the right thing. It doesn't make Doflamingo sympathetic.
We're saying that the actions aren't justified. Remember the Nami example? Like, it doesn't matter why Nami needed to steal, she stole. Like, that's not good. Regardless of the reason, it's not good. Right. Or you can say it can be justified, but it's not a good
Yeah,
thing.
but what I'm saying is if you can't, like, I can empathize with the reason Nami stole. I don't agree with the stealing, but it doesn't justify her actions, but it makes me sympathetic towards why she did it. If that's what I'm saying.
I
if
didn't understand why Hitler killed millions of Jews.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm just kidding with that, but like, that's the point I'm saying that, like...
Just so we're clear, maybe... I was going to say something about the... Never mind.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say something about, well, I'm Canadian, man, and Underground Railroad called, and I'm just saying there's something. I mean, if you're gonna say some shit about Jews, I got a big nose, man. I could be, Jesus.
Wait, are you Jewish?
No, fuck no. But I got the big nose, and I'm.
Fuck no,
But I got the big nose, and I'm cheap as fuck. So I mean, you never know.
Damn, bro, this nigga got racist and shit.
Hey man,
exactly.
shout out to Dolphy, bro. I wouldn't do what he did in this situation with capping his father, but hey,
Honestly,
he had to go.
He
had to go.
What, Spidey? What the fuck, nigga?
Like, to be honest, he was just looking out for his brother at that point, like him killing it. Like that, this is a whole different debate, but like, hell yeah, like his dad was like fucking ignorant and like just stupid. Like, so Doflamingo, like getting his mother killed, and like all the shit him and Rosinante had to go through. Like, if Dolphy's like, oh, if I kill him and bring his head, if they let us back in, we'll be all right. I totally think it was justified in doing that. Like, if we're gonna be honest.
I mean, for me, I thought that once again, I thought that Doflamingo's father and stuff was trying to do something. He was just ignorant of how to go about it. He was trying to do the right thing. He was just fucking ignorant about how to actually pull it off. So I understand why he's pissed. I understand why he wouldn't be unhappy that his father's dead. But to literally go to that extreme, like something snapped in Kid Dofi there to be able to do that. It's easy to say you'll pull the trigger, but man, like if it's somebody and stuff, like I can pull the trigger on someone that I don't fucking know. That's easy. But pulling the trigger on someone like your own dad, like man, unless your dad's literally in the process of killing your mom or something, it's hard to just go up to a dude who's just sitting alone by himself and fucking capping his ass. Like
well, that's what happened though. He in Doflamingo's eyes killed his mom, and like Doflamingo was like 8 of them. Doflamingo was like 8 of them. Like, nigga getting barbecued and beaten every day just for like and having to eat out the garbage, bro. Like
that, and he was way too naive. Like I don't understand how you could be that naive to just relinquish your power, and everybody hates you, and then you just try to roll around like everything is good. At least try to go in. You should have been trying to go into hiding or something.
Yeah. I mean, but isn't that's the main cause of the problem? That like the wealth and shit, and like the isolation. So like you remove the.
That's what. Yeah, that's what he was trying to represent, I feel, is that when they're showing Doflamingo's father acting that way, is that this is it's an extreme version of here is the mentality of the Celestial Dragons. Even the good ones are so goddamn naive and ignorant of how they appear and how the world actually works. They're literally, I think that
that makes a lot of sense.
Them wearing the astronaut helmet, I think that's actually a symbolic thing to show, like literally that old you live in your own little bubble, like that mentality. That's Oda's way of showing these guys literally live in a literal bubble that showcases that they don't know anything. I've always looked at it that way. Anyways, that's why they wear the fish bowls on their head, kind of a literal thing.
Yeah, I can feel that.
The reason I'm skeptical of your idea, Grim, is because we're talking about Doflamingo, who is like far and away the best written villain in One Piece. So I just can't see Oda just dropping that same level of like care and design into someone like.
Whoa, Crocodile called. He wants his number one spot.
So, Friday, you're telling me in the classical, authentic, long-awaited, most anticipated arc of One Piece, the Wano, that this Japanese nigga wouldn't do that thing to the characters, man?
No, but we got Odin for that.
Bro, I ain't with this promise savior type shit, bro. Like we've seen it before, dog. I'm honestly not that interested in Odin.
If he's gonna hype up like an Oriental villain, I mean that's what Kaido's for. Like he doesn't need to do that for.
This nigga said an Oriental villain, bitch. What Oriental concept does Kaido represent, bro? He's fucking
racist. To represent the Mongols, the
Mongols. Nani?
This is the first time you've heard something like that. Like, come on, are
you trying to call Kaido Genghis?
Yeah, something like that. Like he represents he's a barbarian. Like he's invading the Japan of the world, destroying it. He even kind of looks like more character depiction of Mongols. He's supposed to be a Mongol. At least that's what I got from it. Maybe I'm way off the mark, but
I see it. You got it.
Yeah, so like Oda said he could write this arc forever because he's from Japan, he loves Japan. So the fact that Kaido represents kind of like an outsider and like a big enemy and like the history of like Japan, because we all know what Genghis Khan did to like East Asia and like
Unify the
Asian
shit.
countries in general. What happened?
Unify the shit.
I mean, he did. You could say he did that, in like in addition to all the killings and rapings and pillaging. So like,
Bro,
I think like, if he's
killing
gonna,
rape, bro.
what the fuck?
That's what we do, bro.
I guess you're right. I'm just saying, like Orochi, the most I can see from Orochi is he'll be like, is like what I said before. He's gonna like maybe work his way up, and then Kaido is using Orochi as like he only hasn't got rid of him yet because things are smoother with Orochi there. Like there's no rebellion. He can use him as like a mouthpiece to like kind of facilitate things. He doesn't like that's the only reason why I think Orochi's even still around, not because Kaido values him like in any other way. But I could be wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Like on some real nigga shit, bro. I would not be surprised if Orochi a fucking finesse ass nigga, though. I would not be surprised.
I mean, he's smart. I'll give him that. But we'll see.
I'm talking like like more than Dofi level shit. Like fucking out here machinations with Kaido directly. Yes.
This nigga said more than Dofi. Get out of here.
That's a big no.
Bro, I'm talking
I just
about when I say more than Dofi, I'm obviously not talking about like y'all niggas sucking his dick. I obviously mean like his endeavors should be worth more because he's doing it to Kaido directly and he's not like on a whole different island type shit.
I feel like Orochi is super interesting because I just don't see someone being in that position, being a complete just fraud and fake. He has to have something about him, So I think
he's got the Yamato no Orochi devil fruit. I mean, like I mean he might be intelligent and stuff like that, like to a certain degree, but I think what we've been seeing from him right now is just we've been seeing other people's depiction of him. I mean, we've seen him personally, but we've seen him in fun, and we've seen how he deals with the world government, and we've seen how he deals with the whole the plot. Though, once again, I don't know how burning the bridges fucking helps much. Like I'm still. Like, he knows this rebellion's going to happen. He read that message, and I'm sitting there like, okay, really? That's all you did? You have an entire country at your, like, literally beck and call, and what you decided to do was burn some bridges? Luffy could fucking stretch across the goddamn island and have people walk on him. There's, like, I'm sitting there like, is that really your deterrent? Like, it seems bad right now, but I guarantee you Frankie's going to show up with the 500 ships filled with everybody on them. So... I mean, I think he could have done more, so I don't see him as being super, like, he's no Ben Beckman or anything like that, or Captain Kuro. Anybody remember Captain Kuro?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Captain Kuro of 100 plans. Yeah.
Exactly. Like that dude's plan was pretty simplistic, but he seems a lot smarter. Like I do think that maybe we will see a lot in this next chapter, but I don't know. You're not going to be sympathetic to me. Unless Wano was literally going to burn to the ground because of the Kazukis or something, and he was the lesser of two evils, he ain't going to be sympathetic. I don't give a fuck what his reasoning is. I just don't.
I'm with you.
I think he's just want good characters, bro.
I do want to get there, but like, I just don't expect it from someone like a Orochi.
Yeah, exactly. When you have such other hype people, like you got Odin, even Odin's father, I'm interested in, and you got like Yasuya was interesting and stuff. Like you got other characters, man, in this arc that are going to be, more impressive than that. I think.
Tell me that the guy who's controlling Wano somehow, with Kaido right there, isn't more interesting than some dead fuck.
What the fuck?
Why are you disrespecting the world's greatest swordsman?
I'm
like
not,
that,
but you guys are telling me that some dead fuck is more interesting than a mother. Bro, this nigga is literally, bro. There's a possibility that he has enemies on all sides. Like not only Kaido, not only Luffy and shit, but the rest of the niggas in Wano and shit. Like we could see a point in this arc where Orochi has no allies, and like that's crazier. Like that's not gonna happen for Luffy. It's not gonna happen for Kaido. It's not gonna happen for Kinemon.
I mean, I see what you're after, Grim, but to compare him to a dead fuck, like, absolutely, Roger and Whitebeard and Ace are all way more interesting than Orochi and always will be.
I'm saying, like, some of the most interesting people only exist in
Are
Flashback.
dead. Yeah, they're dead.
Listen, bro. If
So
you're
many
telling me-
people.
If you're telling me that, like, Nolan, okay, I can accept that. You know, great, amazing tales.
Okay, yeah, no, he raw.
Connected
He
to
raw.
shit, my nigga. Yeah, effective. But you're telling me about some nigga who was great in Wano, but like nobody else ever heard of him anywhere else in the world. He never fucked with nobody else besides the.
They
PK.
did know about
besides
it.
Hold up. Besides the PK, coincidentally, who came through to the island bit. I don't care about Odin. Fuck
Oh
that
no,
nigga,
no!
man.
What are you talking about? Did you forget? Fucking Sengoku went. Odin is connected to literally everybody. What is it about goddamn Odin? The Marines know his goddamn name. He was one of the members of the Pirate King's crew and Whitebeards. How many people can say that? How many people can say? If I wouldn't be surprised if we find out later that Odin was actually part of the Rocks Pirates too, just so he had the triple set. Just so
the
he.
niggas don't matter either, man. But that's the other piece of bullshit that I don't like about One Piece recently. These niggas introduced as of late have zero relevance or control to the beginning of the story, and all the links and shit are popping up now, my nigga. Like, nah, this is like these niggas have this nigga added this whole piece for some reason. I don't know why, but he's doing it. He's doing it for the story. Like, this is like a complete story tool. Like, this is not like fucking like you.
This is One Piece, man.
Nah,
this
okay.
yes.
Nah,
No,
nigga. Don't label it One Piece, my nigga. To fucking like.
I have a question.
I smell the bullshit odor.
I clearly haven't had enough to drink today because I had to drive earlier. So I just want to check with everybody else here. Am I crazy, or is Grim literally saying that he wasn't hyped for that whole Bounties and Rocks fucking chapter? Am I the only one hearing that? Am I hearing that? Because
you're the only one hearing that. That's not what I said.
You literally said, "Oh, you're dropping this Rocks fucking pirate stuff and all this Odin shit."
Yes,
like
the Rocks concept is trash. Getting reveals for bounties for the.
I kind of agree because, like, I'm not saying the concept is trash. It's just that, like, how is that we're at this point in the story and we're just now like hearing about like, and now everyone's talking about them. I think that's
and everybody knows they were on a crew and shit, and everybody knows they were balling or shit like that, and everybody knows they were fucking with Roger and niggas like that. That didn't come up like 50 times.
Whoa.
Like, no,
everybody's always been, everyone's harping on me all the time when I'm like, oh yeah, Garp's this, Garp's that, and everybody, every single time we get more information about Garp, like, oh yeah, well actually, the first pirate crew that was like before the Pirate King, we had Rocks, which was super strong, which we've had hints of, so it's not bullshit. We've had hints of Big Mom and Kaido working together for a long time. We had hints that Whitebeard was on a crew for a long time and stuff, and now we finally get this shit, and we're like, okay, Rocks Pirates, and now we find out that Garp, once again, stood up. Garp's the man. That's how he became hero of the Marines, so I don't want to hear that bullshit when people are all like, oh, he got that title from capturing the Pirate King. We know he turned himself in. It's like, no, he didn't.
We're not arguing whether the connections work or not. Obviously, you can make anything work. You're at the end of the story, you can connect anything to the beginning and make it work. That's what hindsight's called. We're saying that this hindsight moment, this information...
You don't like Kaido then? You
this information that's in hindsight has come at late. This information that we're getting now, we should have gotten it a long time ago. It holds as much weight as all the Roger stuff, so we should have gotten it then.
We still don't know anything about fucking Roger. You know, like, really, like, what do we really know about Roger? Like, I gotta ask you then, Grip, are you pissed about Kaido? You must hate Kaido too, because we didn't even know that fucker's name for over 500 chapters. Like, then that would be, to me, most series are over before 500.
At the next pivotal point. So, matter of fact, I'll use it in a metaphor aspect. So let's say that meeting the Yonkos is fucking the touchdown out of 100 yards. When we're at fucking yard 20 or whatever, we already got that silhouette of all the Yonkos at yard 20 because we were leaving the fucking Grand Line and shit. Or we were coming into the Grand Line or Paradise, whatever I forgot the names. We were leaving Paradise, going into the Grand Line or whatever. We hadn't yet entered the New World, but even in the beginning of the Grand Line, the middle portion of the Grand Line, we had gotten hints of the Yonkos, of the future individuals we were going to encounter. Not a commander or two before them, not an arc or two before them. Entire portions of the story. Luffy changed fundamentally as an individual before we even got to the Yonkos, and they were already foreshadowed. Roger was talking about in chapter 1. Biggest influence changed the entire era back in Longtown and shit like that. That's what I'm talking about. The pivotal things that these people had, the change that they had in their eras, we were told about them from the beginning because they affected the things that happen now. But these characters, they're telling us that affect what happened now, but we never heard about them? That's weird.
Yeah, but no, see, to me, it's not that weird because why would you know the history of 60 years ago? To me, as you just said, like Rocks, how relevant would he have been? Like, who would have name dropped Rocks before now? You read the story and you're like, okay, how? Like the Yonko didn't become relevant until they became like relevant to this point in the story. As you said, they were foreshadowed. We got the silhouette because Garp talked about them and stuff because Luffy knew Shanks. If Luffy didn't know Shanks, then Garp probably wouldn't have brought up the Yonko. The only reason the Yonko were brought up, as you said, foreshadowed in silhouette, is because he talked about red hair Shanks.
I disagree.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, I think
why else would he bring it up?
That's not entirely true because like
and
even
Whitebeard because Ace was on Whitebeard's crew and Ace talked about Whitebeard. That was the only reason because why else would have Garp have talked about the Yonko? It was only because they brought up,
the next arc, like with Deco Moria, they mentioned that he was beaten by like Kaido, who was one of the. So it gets mentioned like before and after, like all the time. So I don't think like even if he didn't know Shanks, they would have found out the next arc.
Yeah,
they might have found out.
To add on to that, the look at the other Straw Hats now and the different pirates around the world, and different crews now. There are pirates that are much more insignificant than Yonkos or even warlords who we know their name is renowned. Who even Mihawk knows their name is renowned, like this and guys like that. You don't have to be the top tier of anything. The guys like Don Creek, for example, is renowned across the fucking Grand Line or whatever, across everywhere, my nigga. You don't have to be God tier or fucking Yonko level or Admiral level or even High Commander level to be recognized across the seas.
But the thing is, you just even said like some dead ass fucking guy like so they brought up the Yonko because the Yonko are active and relevant and the 4 strongest pirates. Bringing up a guy from 40 years ago who's already dead. I mean, they bring up his top tier crew, Big Mom, Kaido, and Whitebeard, but they don't bring up him because he dead. He's not relevant anymore. They're bringing it up now because they're worried because of the alliance between Kaido and Big Mom. It wouldn't have happened if we didn't know about Kaido and Big Mom teaming up.
That definitely that makes sense in terms of like in story information, like expository stuff. You don't want to give information that's not relevant at the time period. So that makes sense there. And then you have the Shiki example where like Shiki was also a top brass in that class, interfere with Roger in the points, but he's not mentioned as much as Roger. But once again, he is indeed mentioned. We knew about his presence and his significance and his effect on the era way before back then. So let's take, like we said before, we can agree, or I'll say this now. I can agree that like maybe it wasn't important, so there wasn't a reason to even hint at it. But me as a reader,
but it was hinted at. Is my point.
No, it was not. There was.
It was Kaido and Big Mom being on the same crew back in the time, back in the day. You just said like that's. I guess you don't believe that the hints were there. They weren't numerous, but I believe the hints were there because we knew that like who ruled the seas before Roger was always a question.
The thing is, it's not about hints, bro. That's what we're saying. It's not about being hints. We didn't get a hint about Roger.
Then I don't know what you want. Then that like you're bringing up examples of good foreshadowing. So I'm bringing you up.
Like we're asking for something crazy, babe. We got this already in the story for Whitebeard and other people. What we're asking for isn't anything crazy. We're asking for the same thing that we got for other people. They're giving us something that's of the same weight. So why did we not get the same relevance or references for it beforehand? It's like saying,
I think we did. That's
it's like telling me that there's 2 suns in a solar system. What nigga? Where's it? What? Nigga, there's 1 sun. There's a second sun the entire time. That's what Oda just did. Oda just told us that the solar system has 2 suns.
That's not at all what he did.
He literally just did that, bro. There's 2 suns in the solar system.
At the end of the day, you and I think we just disagree on that. See, I think there was enough foreshadowing to this that it was a wow, holy shit. Because maybe Oda doesn't want everyone to always figure everything out well before he does a reveal, which is fine. But I think there was enough hints and there was enough questions. We knew somebody was still like there was a strong pirates before Roger. So who was in charge before? You know, like we kind of knew that. We knew Kaido and Big Mom were on a crew for chapters and years. We knew they were on a crew before this name drop of Rocks. So I guess I'm just not unhappy with it. I don't think it's out of nowhere. I think it's fine. You don't, that's okay, but I just think we're on opposite ends of that.
I mean, it's not story breaking. Like I said before, like when you're doing anything from hindsight, you have the privilege of like being efficient with it. Like you're putting it into the story, so it's gonna be fine. And then whatever plans he has for the end of it, you can trust him enough to do well enough to keep it popular or keep it acceptable. I'm not saying that the story integrity is gonna like be ruined. I'm just saying that like let's not pretend like anything that like Oda can't do anything wrong. And I'm not saying that like you're saying.
No,
that,
of course he
like,
can.
Every argument that like it seems like every argument that you give against any One Piece topic or whatever, there's a strong resistance against it, or there's a strong defense or a strong opposing opinion, and like it's not wrong to always like disagree or shit. And I'm not like again,
No,
I'm not talking about
it's not that. I'm just saying in general that so far, like a lot of people are unhappy with Wano, and I don't get it. That maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know, man. All I'm saying is I haven't had a problem with the direction of Wano, with the characters of Wano, and what Oda has shown me so far. I had a problem with Whole Cake Island. I actually have a problem with Dressrosa. I have a problem with a lot of things that Oda's done. But currently, in the current running series, right now, in the Wano arc, I haven't had a single problem for me personally. So maybe that's why it feels like, as you said, like we're always disagreeing or something when it comes to One Piece. Maybe that's why is because I have no problems with Wano. So I defend everything in Wano because I think it's all fine. Like from a storytelling perspective, from whatever perspective you want, I haven't encountered something that I went, you know what, Oda, this is kind of bullshit. Like I haven't thought that in a long time. Not since Whole Cake Island and they ran away for a cake for 15 chapters. That was the last time Oda bored me. That was the last time I went, Oda, what are you doing? That was the last time. I haven't had a problem since. So I think that's why it feels like we're always like every time we talk about One Piece, it's always, like you're on one side, I'm on the other side.
Like I said, I'm not talking about you. Like I'm really not talking about you. We barely talk about One Piece. I'm talking about anybody. Like the One Piece community, like, matter of fact, I'm gonna target Spidey with this bitch, bro, because he a BDA native. He be out there the most and shit. Answer for your people. Why can Oda do no wrong, sir?
I mean, man, I'm the first to criticize Oda, so you can get the hell out of there with that. And I was just about to say, like, I think, to be honest, like, when someone said it's not world breaking, but like to be honest, when he revealed that Whitebeard and Big Mom and Kaido are on the same crew and they got whooped by Roger, that made no sense. Established like canon of the story, because they state that Big Mom and Kaido became Yonko by stepping to Whitebeard, and Whitebeard and Roger were these two great pirates of the era. But this flashback reveals that no, Whitebeard is pretty much just on the level of Big Mom and Kaido, and Roger was always the greatest. Like there was no rivalry. Like what the hell? That's not how it's supposed to be. Like what happened there, Oda? Like I didn't see any foreshadowing of that. And people like to say, "Oh well, Whitebeard, he was on a crew before he became a pirate." I mean, yeah, but it's not implied that he was on a crew with like Big Mom or Kaido, or that he got his ass whooped by Roger before that. Like,
I think the thing is, I think the biggest thing with One Piece is that we follow the present storyline a lot, and I mean it's not that they're unvalid arguments, but at the end of the day, like it's not like we have a history book like we do for anything now. Like you want to look up what happened in World War One, we have whole history books on what happened in World War One. One Piece, we don't have that book about the Void Century. We don't have that book about Whitebeards from age 1 to age 70. We don't have that thing about Kaido and stuff. So we don't actually know. So when Oda does put those things in there, and I mean, you might call it, okay, that's kind of bullshit, or that's not foreshadowed or whatever. But in a real world setting, if you're not sitting down watching the characters read a history book about what happened 30 years ago, you're not going to know what happened 30 years ago, Like World War II in One Piece could have happened 30 years ago for all we know. And if Oda drops that, I mean, maybe some mention of it before would have been nice, but at the end of the day, if nobody talks about
right
it,
there, stop. You not putting
I'm just saying that's the way.
Because like there's such a history, we can put anything to fill that. I don't like that idea at all. And it's one of the reasons why I say One Piece is a well-written story, but it's lazy, because Oda writes it in the way he can just put whatever he wants in the story and like not have to worry about reining himself in.
And yet somehow he's still got way better lore than a lot of manga series that just let it die. Like you have all this potential and you don't utilize it. At least Oda tries to utilize it. At least for me, like Taizai, so much fucking potential, so much lore and information we could get. We should have 35 more wiki pages on Taizai lore alone that has nothing to do with the 330 chapters. but we don't because Nakaba doesn't give us anything. At least Oda does try to give us some type of world building. World building, I
He
guess.
tries. He
Yeah,
tries, and
he
I'm
tries.
not saying his world building is like. I'm not even saying his building is bad. He does really good world building, but as far as like how he writes a story in the world of One Piece, like it's like I'm glad you said this. Like I'll say this, and I might get a lot of like shit for this, but I think the world of Naruto is more interesting than One Piece. But Oda, like, I've always held that opinion. Like Naruto has a way better world. It's way more interesting. But the fault is that unlike Oda, Kishimoto was not good at exploring his world. He was not good at getting into the lore. Oda is more explorative, but his world is more, like I said, written away where anything can happen. Like we have niggas shooting flintlock pistols on one island, then we got niggas in fucking Power Ranger Iron Man suits on another island because he just writes it that way. Anything can happen.
That's the concept right there. That like, it's a different, completely different environment, or like basically even world or whatever you want to call it on every single island. While in Naruto, it's one connected sect. So like, sure you can divide it by like 4 villages, but that's really all it is. It's like 4 villages. And you really rarely get to the other 4 concepts. So like, by default, my nigga.
That's what I'm saying. Like the idea of like Ninja Village is interesting. The concept, like the history behind them, is very interesting. But he never like Land of Swordsman that he barely ever talked about. Saying Land of Iron, but he never got into that shit. Oda, to a fault, sometimes will get into that. Like, you know, that's just how it is.
Yeah,
I think that whole like world building argument is like, it's tired out, bro. Like I ain't.
What happened?
Like, I don't think you can continue to like crutch One Piece with that whole world building argument. Like, the world building's so great. That's why I love it. That's why it's the best. Like,
yeah, I agree. It's not as great. It's not as great as like some people like make it out to be. It's good, but it's not like everything he adds is like, oh man, oh Jesus, oh man, you could write an essay like a fucking book about this alone. It's not like that. It's deeper, but it's not like okay, there's an island made out of eggs. Like that's cool, but like it's not like this.
You can't take away the fact his Oda's after 20 years, his creativity is fucking, it's on point. You got to give him that. Like some of those devil fruit powers and stuff. I mean, this is some wacky ass shit. Like that's why sometimes like yeah, you can say okay, the world building's not that great, but maybe we're just a little tired because we expect it from One Piece. You know, I mean. As I said, do I care if there's an island made out of eggs? No. But would I have thought of that in my own story? No. So you got to give the tip to the creativity a little bit. He borrows a lot from other things. You know, Thriller Bark's basically an ode to fucking slasher and horror movies. But it's still creative in some of the ways he utilizes it. And sometimes he curates whole new concepts that like the jacket fruit. Who the fuck would have ever used a jacket power in any other manga than One Piece? Like, that's just... That's where the creativity shines a lot for what I think Oda at least tries to do, you know.
Oh, that's simply.
That was creepy as fuck. You one creepy as fuck.
Oh, I'm alright, man.
I'm alright.
But one more thing, like about the not to get too off. I mean, we were kind of just talking like. One thing, I'll shout out to my nigga Eric, because he's the one that brought this to my attention. But before Wano, like a kind of statement about how they were scared to go to Wano because like the strong swordsman. This flashback just kind of making me wondering like where's all the strong swordsmen? Like we see Odin, but we see Odin. But other than that, everyone's like, oh no, this giant pig is gonna destroy all of Wano if we oh no, we gotta get that pig. I'm like, shouldn't there be like some niggas like they should like oh no it'll be fine.
Supposed to be a squad of niggas out here just cutting that bitch in half, man. From across the island, nigga. We was told it's supposed to be niggas cut shit in half like this.
And even in the present day, like the strongest samurai are Kyoshiro, Shunmaru, and Kawamatsu.
Them niggas look super duper buttons, man.
Yeah, like, they're strong, but they're kind of buns. So I'm just kind of wondering like where are these strong swordsmen? Like,
yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Like, that's crazy, man.
We were supposed to have like 4 or 5 niggas that's missed out there. We were supposed to have. Oh, why the fuck doesn't that change, dog? Fuck. We were supposed to have a nigga that Mihawk was like, I bet you straight, you good, type shit. Fucking we supposed to have a nigga that like gave Zoro the fucking fight of his life and shit. Like,
That was
You don't think that's
Killer?
going? You don't think that will happen though?
No,
I was expecting some-
no. If the rocks can show up.
I was expecting some Rurouni Kenshin ass niggas to be in this arc, but we got those.
Yeah.
Like though we got niggas like getting thrown in cages by like fodder, like beast pirates. Like remember there was
bro.
like
If we can get one of the strongest niggas ever out of nowhere, bro. Oh, do they have a lurking legend too? Or is that okay?
Oh, wait. What's up with Kyoshiro? Because I don't like from where I left off at. He wasn't really doing shit, but he seemed like one of them niggas that he was up to something. What's up with him?
I mean, he hasn't really done anything recent chapters.
Damn, he still didn't do shit. Okay, bet.
I mean, the last
all
time
I
we
wanted
seen
to
him was when he fought Zoro at the execution, right? Or am I tripping?
Okay, so yeah, okay, because I didn't even read that. So hey, you did something.
Jesus Christ, you're far.
Last chapter I read was when Hiyori got revealed, like her real name. I liked her better as a prostitute. Not gonna lie,
I low-key did like that shit better, bro. But she was just some prostitute.
bro. That was so dope, man. That chapter was dope. Like just finessing niggas out of everything, man. So he basically was in poverty because of her, and then when she hit him with that one panel where she was like, "I despise people who are poor." I was like, "Yo, this is dope."
I mean, like, it's a shonen, bro. So like, you gotta expect that like they gonna like desensitize the shit. But like, I feel like it would have been badass. Like that's some like Black Lagoon Remy type shit, man. Like fucking like the dirty ass fucking whore or whatever, and then fucking she gets saved because of the actions of these people and shit. Like that's the shit I'm talking about. But fuck, dog.
Man, I wanted her to stay grimy. I really did. Yeah, it'd be like that though.
It'd be like that sometimes. All right. Anybody else have anything? Nigga, is that a fish? Man, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, my nigga, the fish swam up from the river through the water, nigga. Nigga, this fish out here.
That upstream, nigga.
Yeah,
That upstream.
Oh, nigga, I can do that shit too, bro. Oh shit, nigga. We swimming up to the top. Bro,
Does Grimm have a better world building than One Piece?
Hell yeah, I got better world building than One Piece. Look at you. Well, nigga, I got them stories out there, bro. You better read my fan fiction, niggas. I'll be balling, dog. Oh shit, I'm really going up this shit, dog. Oh fuck. I ain't know you could do all this shit, man. This shit wrong. Nigga, I just went to the top of this shit. Nigga, I'm that's a ladder, man. Oh no, I'm going down. That's a ladder.
Oh, yo, you heard about what YouTube has been doing to niggas? I just heard about this shit today.
That doesn't sound
Apparently, like it was some people like, cause they got these like stickers and all these shit in the super chat or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's been people who have been like having like mass emojis in the chat, and they've been getting their channel just like suspended completely. Like I have no clue why at all, but that's been like a thing. It's been happening to some people, and like some YouTubers spoke out about it. So like, do not spam emojis in live chats. If you do it at your own risk.
Shit.
Cause YouTube tripping.
I don't use them at all, so I don't know. I no. If I use a lol, I must be drunk.
A Muppet. If anybody uses emojis in the fucking chat, mute their ass.
It's kind of funny.
I don't know. YouTube just tripping. Like for one of those scheduled videos I was talking to you about, Grim, I had one of those and they took off the monetization for one of them. I was like, wait, huh? I was like, wait, what did I do?
It ain't even out yet.
Yeah. Well, because they got the automated shit or whatever, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, I didn't have any videos on there. They were all screenshots, and I use them in the same way and all the videos where I don't have the screenshots on video for a very long time, so I don't get copyrighted. So I was, that's the thing. They didn't copyright me. They didn't give me a strike. They just like, no, you're not making money off this video, nigga. Under no circumstances. I was like, okay. I didn't even get a real reason. I still don't know why.
All right. So I know y'all niggas don't be solo leveling though.
Nah,
What happened?
everybody been telling me to get on that though.
Uh,
I've heard the art is God tier. That's one thing people always talk about the art and the fights for that series. So
it's legit. It's
Which series? Which series are we talking about?
solo leveling.
Oh, Solo Leveling. As I said, I think I already talked to you, Grim, about that. I tried to read Tower of God and that, and neither one. Like, I just couldn't.
He said neither.
how far did you get into it?
Not very far, not very far, man. I read a lot of series, and so usually if I think of probably only like 5-10 chapters. You know, like I don't. If it doesn't hook me right away, it's not that I don't like it. It's that if I'm not super hooked and I'm staying up till like 3 a.m. in my bed, fucking still reading and reading and reading when I gotta go work in 3 hours. If I'm not that, then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get back to it, and I never do. So I didn't drop it intentionally, but
I just wanted to know why you dropped it because I dropped Tower of God, but it was like I got really far into it. It's really. I think it's like too dense with some things, and some things aren't like properly explained. And because Hemmis covers Tower of God, and like he talks about like there's like blog posts that the author has that kind of explains things. I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to get no DLC package for a
yeah.
webcomic. Like, why do I have to get some extra information to figure out what the fuck is going on in your story? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not doing that, bro.
One
I'm
of
not
the
doing
worst
that.
one of the worst things I find with any, it doesn't matter if it's a manga or not, but like if you need to like basically go on the Wikipedia page, or if you need to read or a classic one, read the book, it explains it. It's like, no, the story might be fine, but if the movie adaptation or the TV show or the manga or something, if the anime can't convey me that information properly with its media format, then they did something wrong. You know, like
Yeah, because like it'll be sometimes I've done this before where I judge an anime and I'll say like, oh, this is bad, or I didn't like this part. And then people will be like, well, this didn't happen in the manga. I'm like, that's fine, but I'm judging this. I'm not judging
right.
the
I
series.
watched the anime.
Yeah.
I didn't read the manga. Right. So yeah, I think we're of the same opinion when it comes to that shit. I don't think anybody like. I don't know. I really wish that sometimes things were done better, because I do feel bad for people that only follow like one format. Like I read manga more than I watch anime, but I try to do both, you know, so I can get a different feel for something I like. But it does suck sometimes when you see it and you're like, man, like people who are anime only are not going to like this or not going to understand this because they left out that one line of dialogue or they left out that scene, you know.
Yeah. Read Claymore, don't watch.
Shout out to Randy Adam 03. Was good. My nigga. Shout out for subscribing this shit.
I should probably pull up your video so I can see the chat. Yeah, I try to always like all your streams even if I don't make it. So
I always like your videos. Maybe post them in big news.
there we go. I got it up.
So Griever, before we move on to
Yo.
the next topic, bro, you got any entertaining stories for us?
Any what stories for you?
Entertaining?
No, not this time. It's been really slow. Uncle has cancer and he's a right prick about it.
Bro, what
So
the fuck? It's entertaining, nigga. Not fucking tell us about your.
I mean, I'm just saying that's the reason there's no entertaining stories. Everyone's too busy fucking taking care of cancer uncle. So there's just nothing. There's just nothing super exciting going on. I saw some good titties on Instagram. I mean,
That's more like it.
yeah. I mean, but I mean, that's not entertaining. You need some A class. You need some soap opera level fucking
Drama stories, man. Yeah.
right. Yeah. And right now
I've been going on that
so
work, bro. Niggas beefing.
wait a minute. I got kicked out of my. I got one. Did I tell you about the parking story?
You
Okay,
in the parking lot?
Well, yeah. There's a parking lot at work, right? Because it's a federal government place. I'm gonna try to keep this really brief. Pretty much, everybody parks. It's called visitors parking, right? And everybody parks there. Contractors, whoever, right? The cleaners, everybody. And we've been parking there for like not me personally, but our company and guys have been parking there for like 20 years. So a few weeks ago, they basically said to one of our guys named Gordy, they said, Gordy, can you come move your truck? He's like, why? And so he goes up and he goes, I'm not like parked illegally. He's not in the fire lane or something. And so he goes to the head commissioner, right? The one who would give a ticket if you were, and he goes, do I have to move my truck? No. Why would you move your truck? Okay. So he goes back to work. Happens again the next week. He's like, move your truck. He's like, I'm not moving my fucking truck. So he goes up again. He goes, do I have to move this fucking truck? He goes, no. He said, okay. So he comes back. Third time it happens, he's just like, what the flying fuck? So everything went to shit last week because pretty much the guys who hire us, right, through the government, they're basically saying contractors can't park in visitors parking. It's meant for visitors. And we're sitting there going, yeah, but why are you singling us out? Because everybody that's parking in visitors is a contractor. The cleaners, the contractors for other jobs, the plumbers, the electricians, everybody up there is a goddamn contractor. There are no visitors parked in visitors, right? So they said, so you can't just ask one contractor to move his vehicle, when you're not asking anybody else to move, right? So, and the thing is, another one of our guys parks up there right next to his truck every day, and they haven't spoken to him in 3 weeks. So eventually, it all came down to a head that a woman who has no power at all over us, but she's a secretary for the guy in charge, comes up and basically says, did you move? Last time he got really pissed. He went up and he said, do I have to move my truck? What is the problem? He goes, no. Somebody showed up from a head office that couldn't find a parking spot, and they were wondering why there are big trucks, like contractor trucks in the parking. So he gets stopped in the hallway by this secretary, who's a right bitch, and she basically said, did you move your truck? He goes, no, I didn't. He said, you have to move your truck. He goes, I don't have to do anything. I just went to the head of security who gives out the parking tickets. He said he's not ticketing my truck. I don't have to move my truck. And so he left. She went to her boss, our employer, I guess, in a roundabout type of way, and said that he yelled at her in the hallway and all this shit. And he went, what the fuck? I might have raised my voice because I'm pissed off. This is the third time I've had to leave a job to go up and say, I'm not moving my goddamn truck. I'm allowed to park there. And eventually it all came to a head. She fucking did this. So he started throwing around the word discrimination. You guys are discriminating against me, and stuff. And that scared the living shit out of the entirety of everybody because the moment you use the word discriminate.
Your boy discriminate. Oh, boy.
Yeah, and so he was getting pissed off because there's actually another guy who was parked up there, one of the contractors, and he's the guy I told you about before. The guy he's black and he owns the main contracting company for
Relax.
yeah, and he fucking said he goes basically he looked at no he looked at him basically he looked at the head honcho and said he goes, I see you're not asking him to move. I wonder fucking why. And he basically like looked at his hands and he was like, yeah, you'll discriminate against me because you can get away with it because he's white, he's fucking dude, whatever. It's like if I was a woman or if I was black or something, there's no fucking way you'd be singling me out. But no, you're singling me out because you think you can get away with it, sort of deal. So he kept throwing around the word discrimination. So now everybody was banned. Signs went up 2 days later that no contractors can park anywhere there. A bunch of signs were put up that night and like everything because he started throwing around that word. It's like, you discriminate against me. He goes, I want everybody to move. I want the cleaners, the plumbers, the electricians. I don't care if they're black, white, Chinese. I want them all moved or I'm doing. Yeah. So he was like, fuck this shit. and everyone's like, oh, you kind of ruined. Like some people are like, oh, you kind of ruined it for us, you know. And he's like, I'm not moving my fucking truck and having to walk 3 extra miles because fucking, you know, because I'm white or they don't want to fucking, you know, they can think they can tell me what to do. So that's basically that was their drama this week. It's not that interesting, but it was a big thing because, you know, you throw around that word discrimination, people start getting really antsy, man.
Or me too.
Or me too. You start throwing around that me too shit. Yeah. People get antsy. It's one of those things. And the funny thing is that at the end of the day, the guy who he's not the owner of the company, but the dude who does park there, who's black, his name Gail. He's great. He was just kind of like he goes. When we were explaining like why none of us could park there anymore, man, Gail was like, "Man, why didn't you just say you were gay?" You know, like he literally was like, yeah, because he said the same thing. He said, "Well, Gordy, man, I mean, there's no way you can be black, but Jesus Christ, you could pretend to be gay." You know, and that's what he literally told him to try to get out of it, to try to like get something out of the government for it. So I mean, we're all sitting there. He's like, because he said, "You got some cards to play, man. You got cards to play. You should use them."
Hey, like, what if they hit on with the what if they hit you with the reverse card and they said prove that? Then
You never know. You never know. Actually, one time my boss went up to the head honcho and and usually we're fighting. Well, no, but we're fighting a lot with those guys. Like a lot of the time, because sometimes they can be real prick. Like they're acting like it's not taxpayer money. It's like they have to pull out their own wallet sort of attitude, and so they're usually like, oh great, you got to go see the boss. And he came back, he goes, "No, man," he was all like, "Howdy, partner," and all this stuff. He was all happy and shit. And then I noticed, and I told my boss, I said, "Yeah, that's why he was so happy." And he said, "What?" I said, "Your fly's down."
Gave it to him good, but
yeah. So I mean, and I said maybe we could get more work if you show up like that more often.
Damn, Griever. You put him on blast like that, bro. Come on, man.
So you fighting people at work now.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta. It's government, man.
Let them suck dick in peace, bro. Come on, Griever.
So you fighting people at work.
Hey, I ain't got nothing against people sucking dick.
I heard about you. You beating.
I mean, I like mine sucked. So
That's great.
Jesus.
He's a menace.
Apparently, I got my ass beat in a parking lot. I don't remember that, but maybe I'm suffering from the concussion from getting my ass beat in said parking lot.
I was about to say, maybe it was that bad.
Maybe it was. Maybe I'm still in the hospital. Maybe this is all a dream.
Damn,
Fuck.
You alright, bro?
Fuck, I don't know. Apparently, I got my ass beat in a parking lot, Grim. Come help.
Damn,
help me, man.
Right now, nigga? Fuck. Alright, let's ride.
Let's go.
Now I would low key though, bro. Like if we went to the con and like you said like you slapped like this girl in a fucking Remy cosplay and shit who had her titties out and she bent over in front of you on accident because she dropped her Slurpee cup and then like you like hit that shit like with your arm, but then like she was already kind of tipsy and shit, so she thought you grabbed it, so she like bent over slowly and her nigga seen that and her nigga happened to be in the Goku outfit and shit and he walked up to you just fam. Hit you once in the mouth and shit, and you got mad. So you went out to the car to get your gun, right? And he went out, he went out behind you and started beating your ass in the parking lot, right?
What's going on?
It's absolutely. I mean, that could happen. I love how people tell these elaborate stories on the fly. I gotta go for true stories that are boring about parking lots and fucking government. He fucking makes up shit with Gokus and Remy's and everything involved.
I swear, bro, this can't be stories.
Absolutely, it's entirely possible. But that's why I stay away. I stay away from parking lots altogether.
Yeah, you got fucked up, huh? Next time you won't. I'm straight next time.
That's wild.
What's good, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Not as good as you, man.
That's cap. I'm not good though, so you don't want to be. You don't want to be. Dude. I'm going through it.
What you mean going through it, bro? What's up?
Life just that's just life, kiddo. It'd be like that. I'm good though. I'm playing video games right now, chilling.
Yeah, solving the problem in life on video games.
I don't know, man. I'm just everything's messed up, but we'll get through it. It's a rough patch.
You gonna be all right, nigga? Can we help or?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm a tough cookie. I think I'm a tough cookie. I could be wrong. We'll see where I stand at the end of this, but
You may be one of those chewy Chips Ahoy, and you think you're one of those hard ginger biscuits or something. You
Right.
don't know.
might be soft in the middle, low key, but that exterior holding up right now. So,
Do you like an Oreo then?
hey man, what's the hardest cookie ever? You ever had it in your life?
Burnt
probably like
cookies.
one of them
You say
generic
bird
shit.
cookie, bird
Yeah.
cookie. There you go.
Yeah, like if you burn, especially ginger, like
my
gingerbread.
skin color.
Yeah, like you burn a gingerbread, like snap. Holy fuck, man! Your teeth, jawbreakers. That's what they make jawbreakers out of, man.
Nice.
What you been reading, man?
Oh, I don't. I mean, I'm washed, so I'm already reading the shit. But I read the New Unordinary. It's my comics, pretty deadly and stuff. Deadly Class, Coffin Bound. I'm forgetting, maybe something. Oh, Space Bandits, the last issue. But really the two things that I enjoyed the most this year would be Golden Kamuy and JoJolion. Those are my two manga of the year.
Golden Kamuy, the soldier dude.
Yeah, the one with the
Immortal Sugimoto.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my favorite manga of the year.
That's just good.
Yeah, it's really good. I've been reading it for about a year now, maybe almost a year now. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. It's one of it became one of my favorites really quickly. I like the anime, so I ended up reading it after I watched the first season. So that's where I started. It's really good. I like it. And obviously JoJo Part 8, Raw, Heat. So that's it. But in terms of like just new manga I had picked up all together this year, but it's an old one, Kaneko Man was like really, really, really good read. So I had a great time with that.
Oh, I gotta love that Kaneko, man.
All right, so I loved it. Shit was raw.
What's Kaneko in English?
Ultimate Muscle.
Yeah.
Oh, nigga, what?
Well, the original Kaneko Man follows King Muscle and stuff like that, like Kaneko Man himself.
Yeah,
the anime is like the part 2.
It's Montero and Suguru. So Suguru's the original one, who is things that Kid Muscle's dad and whatever 4 kids shit they had. But this is like the original one.
Yeah.
But,
to be fair, I love Kevin Mask way more than any other character, so I gotta read. I love that part 2 shit.
Master's got power.
Robin Mask is way more raw.
No, don't get me wrong. I love Robin Mask and stuff. Like Buffalo Man, he's another one. I love Buffalo Man.
Warsman is gold. Ramen Man gold. Ramen Man just violent. It's so funny. It's so funny. He just be when he drank that man's tea, everything. No, that would have been worse when actually did
This
that.
guy can save the universe. If he only had some guts. Ultimate muscle. Ultimate muscle. Bro, that was that thing, nigga.
I think we need to give Graham a moment alone with himself.
Yeah, just go ahead. Big bad boys from outer space.
Ultimate muscle.
Here to body slam the human race.
That thing.
Just let him go off.
Bro, I did not know that was a fucking it was fucking like.
Yeah, man, it's a long ass manga.
Back muscle planet behind the masthead. Face the bomb new champion. Can they handle kicking?
Power.
Bruh, yo, that's just like. Is it like a good story, dog? Like, that's quality as fuck?
It's extremely wacky and it's old as fuck, right? It's one of the.
Oh yeah, it's so wacky,
so
but it's good. It's good.
If you can't handle like that goofiness, I don't know what to tell you, but I loved it. I like that old shit, and you're gonna see a lot of shonen tropes that you see are used to today in their infancy. So anything that you see now, from power levels to tournament arcs to friendship,
they were the original tournament arc.
You're gonna see where all of that stuff originated.
Dang, nah, boy.
Oh, a lot of he's right. A lot of the constant tropes now used are all based way back then.
It's a nostalgic manga, though. It's a nostalgic experience, so you expect that. You don't.
You can still read it. Like the art's still like. You know how sometimes you look back on things and you want to like it because it's like, oh yeah, but this is where it all happened. This is where it all started, and you're just kind of like, yeah, but man, this is bad. You know, the art still holds up for me, and
It starts off as an Ultraman parody, and it spiraled into what it became, which is kind of crazy.
yeah,
That's what's
well,
nice
because
about
Ultraman,
Is that
well,
good?
Ultraman was the big thing.
Oh.
Because I think, if I remember correctly, you might want to fact check it. I think it started in 1979.
Niku Man,
Yeah, I think the manga. That's when
I thought it was
published.
80. I thought it was like 81 or 82 or
I
something,
think
but
it's,
I don't know.
79, but someone fact check that for me. I don't remember. I could be off a little bit.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll
It's kind of
check it.
dated, but like it's just, I absolutely had a great time reading it. Obviously, like even like the trope of like switching genres, kind of.
Yeah,
So
you're
think-
right. 79 now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So think like Madaka Box, how it just kind of just switch genres.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna turn this shitty battle shonen into like a romance comedy or whatever. Like
Or
even
the fact,
even the idea of doing that originated in Kinnikuman, Man.
yeah.
And yeah, it's just like everything I could think of, so many moves and concepts, it just dates all the way back to Kinnikuman. Man. I'm like,
Well, because it's a comedy manga, right? So it had all the ability to do basically whatever it wanted, right?
yeah, reviving, collecting stuff to revive people.
Yeah. Oh, the classic reviving people, yeah. Or the friendship power ups and stuff.
The
Oh,
enemies
man.
turning into allies or like antagonists.
Yes.
Working with you in the next round to defeat a bigger enemy.
Oh, that's
all
wrong,
that
nigga.
stuff.
That's all I want.
Oh yeah, man. It was some good shit.
I love that trope. That's one of my favorite
And
tropes.
obviously, if you really like wrestling too, you get a bonus. But Kinnikuman Man is like as much as a wrestling manga as Dragon Ball ended up being like a martial arts manga. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Warsman literally has a fucking bear claw attached to him. Like it's not wrestling anymore. You think they're just fighting in the ring to the death, but
Yeah.
it's still raw. Like it's just
Or like Red Rain of Pain, you know? It's like, okay, yeah. It's like Sanji lighting his leg on fire. It's the same deal. It's like, Jesus Christ. Okay, now it ain't.
Tower Bridge, Furikazan, Kiniku
Yes.
Spark.
Oh, I love it.
Buster.
Kaniku Buster.
Fucking him and Terry, man, when they did the double, oh my, the tag team, bro.
Oh.
Like, don't even start me, bro.
Oh man, but it's so good. Or who was that fucker? Who's the dude? He like reminds me of the Punisher. Like there was the Cobra guy. He's literally a fucking cobra. Like come on, man. They're from outer space, so they have all this shit. It's like
All the
oh,
fucking Shojins.
aliens wrestling. Like it's just like what?
And what makes me laugh too is the fact that like Suguru is actually stupid beautiful. The mask actually hides how pretty he is. So when he face flashes, he can revive people. He fucking cleared the fucking the river of pollution by just flashing his like lips. Like, bro.
Yeah. Because he's actually like he's one of the best looking dudes ever. So he wears the mask so he doesn't like
he's actually too good looking.
He's basically like that. And there's another one like the classic trope that like I'm so beautiful, the Boa Hancocks and the stuff like that. Like people like that's him first, man. He was the original
manly tears.
Yeah,
all that stuff, man. Getting power from food.
Like, oh my god, the power from.
It's garlic, right? It's garlic power. But if he drinks, I think if it was milk, would like depower him. So like,
yeah. If he drank milk,
yeah, it's just like I said, I had a phenomenal time. But I also really like old shit. So
yeah. Well,
I recommend it. I always say give it a fair chance, but I know it's not for everybody. But
oh no, I know a lot of people that would not get it or wouldn't want to read it. I can see it. But it's like I just reread Kenshin.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, there was some good quality shit, because I wanted to catch myself back up because I'm still trying to find like when the chapter release is coming for the Hokkaido arc, the new one. So I wanted to catch myself back up just so I didn't forget anything, Like I was watching the anime with a friend because he wanted to be introduced to it and he loves it, but I wanted to like reread the manga as well. So I just finished doing that, and that was so good.
Yep. Yeah, and a cool thing too is my cousin's actually he's watching Saint Seiya right now. I'm so proud of him.
Wow. Now there's another one.
Yep, yeah, I
There's
love
a,
it.
yep. Oh man, I love all that old shit, man. It actually disappoints me a little bit. Even since the big three, like I might have mixed feelings about like. Well, let's be honest, I hate Naruto, but I remember like not even like fucking 5 6 years ago how exciting it was for like Thursdays. Like because you had One Piece, you had Bleach, you had Naruto, you had all the good shit. You had Medica Box even for fuck's sakes and stuff like that. You had good shit dropping. Like you weren't just reading one series at a Shonen Jump. You were reading like all of them because they were
Yeah,
all good for other reasons. Now I'm like so like I only read My Hero Academia and Black Clover because there's literally nothing else really to read. Like that's
I
I
feel
want
you. There was one time when Jump was coming out, and I was probably just reading the magazine itself. Like,
yeah.
save One Piece for last. So
you
I'm
guys
going
realize
through.
that that's like it's not only like granted the quality may have dropped, like that's an objective thing, but like subjectively you've changed. Like, that's the biggest factor there. You've changed. Maybe you should start looking at Sadie.
Oh my god! Don't do this.
I mean, Graham, you might have a point, but
No, but no. The reason why I say don't do this because it's not like I don't read a shit ton of seinen. I'm not
yeah,
looking for shonen manga to read or
No, I
whatever.
wasn't looking to you in particular, Nike, because you read
But
everything.
just because something is seinen doesn't inherently mean it's gonna be different. Because like
right.
Japanese writing is they do a lot of similar things across the board, just in general.
Yep.
And there's lots of things that I read that are yes, they're under the shonen umbrella, but they're more adult, quote unquote, mature in their writing. Where
All that
some
means
things that
is
are
they'll show
seinen
more blood and they'll show some titties and stuff like
and just because something has a lot more gore, sex, and violence does not inherently make it more mature.
That's what I'm talking
No.
about. Like,
Someone
It
is
doesn't
going
make it better.
just
Like, for
go
example,
crazy and their series are just juvenile. It's not mature.
what I'm talking about, like, is for example, uh, I haven't really read this, but this guy was trying to put me on it, and I managed to get a little bit of it, and Vagabond does this a lot. But the other series is Pun Pun or Good Night Pun Pun.
I own Pun Pun. It's literally on my shelf.
That shit is nothing but emotion and drama. That's what I'm talking about. We're like
Asano Inio, he to me only really has one bad series, which is Down. I think it's called Downfall. If that one's kind of bad, but Girl by the Shore, Oyasumi Pun Pun, Solanin, all that
the
stuff,
art for
straight
that
fire.
shit is good, dog.
Straight fire.
Yo, that nigga is good. He's a good ass artist, bro. I fuck with that shit, but like, and they be fucking in there, so like that's half the reason I want to get into it. But like,
Of course.
yeah, facts. But like,
But I don't. But that's one thing that like you can do it I mean, you can do it tastefully. Like you can have tasteful like levels of like it's gory because it's violent. You can have sex because that's realistic.
No, but
like
that's not
people
what I'm
don't
trying to
always.
say. I'm saying that those two stories in particular, they have their focus is emotion. Like, and they're talking about adult ideals and concepts. Like Vagabond is nothing but idealistic. It's nothing but idealistic. And in Pun Pun, it's a similar concept where you're dealing with like, now you can tell you more about it because I haven't read it. But like,
That shit was depressing. It made you. It really made me think about like a lot of things in life in general.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like the same.
It's very thought provoking.
Facts.
But
I do like those.
But there's shonen that's done that to me though, like Death Note.
Yeah.
But to me, like a shonen is supposed to be like, well, a good or an adult wise shonen would be like those same ideals but explored in, like, for example, like Spidey was putting out earlier when he was here about like Naruto, right? The Naruto verse, the world itself, it can be interesting as fuck, and they introduce like one or two pretty like complex ideas or ideas that can be complex, but they like give it to you in a really like kindergarten manner, or like they only address the surface level shit, like fucking like racist ideals or like little conflicts like that, or like peace treaties, or like Hashirama, or like how Hashirama was like diplomatic amongst the nations, shit like that, like different things like that, where they're like they surface level shit, but like in a seinen, that would be like some real psychological shit. You would dive deep into it, like in Vagabond. One of the main concepts that you deal with in the entire story is that like, what does it really mean to be the best? Or like, does it really fucking matter? Like that's something that's like they dive into like deep as fuck. But like in a different story, it would just be like, for example, One Piece. That'll be something that Zoro like fucking brushes over in a second. Like, oh, Oda already has an idea for what Zoro believes in. It's just that. Like, It's
I mean,
different shit. You just get different shit from it.
yeah, but
It's case by case.
yeah, and I'm agreeing with Naya on that one just because it's true, and I know you're basically saying the same thing, Graham, because like there are some shonen. I try not to look honestly at the demographic thing because it's not a genre; it's simply a demographic. So I try to avoid like looking
It's
at
a
that.
target audience.
Right, it's a target because like there are some things like Full Metal Alchemist. There is shit I have felt reading Full Metal Alchemist and stuff or watching it that I'm just like, this is some of the greatest fucking shit I've ever seen. It's shonen, but that doesn't mean that like, that it can't give you the thought provoking ideas, the racism, the what it means to be human, all the like deep emotional like things they basically discuss in Full Metal. That's some deep psychological shit if you want to get into it, like. So, like, what does it mean? Like, how far do you want to play God and all that stuff? They get into the religion and the politics, and it's like, this is a fucking shonen, So,
Yeah, like, ultimately, like I hear what you're saying. I just don't like seeing the hype beast because they just say dumb shit. Like,
what do you mean?
you just read more seinen. And I'm like, bro.
Mm.
First of all, who do you think I am? On you, nigga. I've read tons and tons of seinen, josei, shoujo. Show doesn't matter. I've read all kinds of demographic. I don't care about that. A good story is a good story.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in the demographic itself. I'm just like, yo, I'm taking the story case by case. What is it the author or creative team are trying to do, and do they do it?
Yep. Actually, no, I think you're the person that, from all I know, has read the most series of anybody I know. So,
I didn't go outside for a long time.
Yeah, there you go. But that's what I mean. Like you definitely are one of the people that I know for a fact. You definitely have read way more series than I have. And I thought I was doing pretty good with like 100, 200 series under my belt. And you're like, oh yeah, well maybe 500. I'm like, fuck off. Like, so.
That nigga's really into this shit, bro. I've been getting my dick
Bruh.
sucked too much. Man.
But for me,
Yeah,
though,
but you can read manga while you get your dick sucked. You're just
it's
not
more so
multitasking.
for me though. Is I started way earlier than most people. Like most people kind of got into it now. And these guys, like some people I know, like you, like Sasuke knows, like Nelly and like Lizard, those guys read like 80 manga a day. Like they're just
they wild.
they're just
Them the
they're
manga
just
heads for
they're
real.
just monsters. I've been as long as I could literally read words, I've been reading manga, right? So like I have like 20 years on my resume. So for me, it's more longevity than it is. I got into it last year and I read 300 manga in one day. Like I didn't do that.
Right.
It's also I've been seeing a lot of this, and I was watching this video that was like commenting on this as well. And I actually read an article about it too, about referring to Netflix, but the anime like industry, we're in its flourishing stage. Like we are making it flourish, like us. Since you were a kid till now, you being involved with anime and manga, you have been part of the flourishing. You've seen it, you've been involved with it, you are it. That's what it's been. And apparently, from one of the articles that I was reading, Netflix is gonna try to utilize I guess animes and different like sorts of animation from whatever it is, to help compete up against Disney's acquisition of a bunch of different shit and like the new Disney Plus streaming service. So
That's interesting.
yeah. So
Yeah, that
potentially,
is.
like,
Well, they're always promoting and producing new shit on Netflix. Like I just watched that fucking series. What is it called? It's the one with the dude who's a ranger or something. It looks like some Prince of Tennis art style. It's really good. It only had one season, but I was like, my god, this fucking shit is good. I had to binge watch the whole thing. It's new on Netflix.
It's an
Netflix
anime?
original. Yeah, it's an anime. Fuck, what is that fucking thing called? It looks like Prince of Tennis art style, but I don't know what.
I don't know. I actually don't know what you're talking about, but I know there's one called B the something.
No, that's not a fuck's
really?
sakes.
The only good one that I heard was on Netflix was Castlevania.
Carolyn Tuesday was on Netflix, I think. I don't.
Yes, sir.
But that shit's fire. I need to. I might just finish that tomorrow. Actually, I had no reason not to watch it today. Actually, considering the fact that I finished BoJack Horseman, I finished South Park, and I watched 2 episodes of Ruby today and Titans. I had no reason not to watch fucking Carol and Tuesday today, but I don't know. It's on Netflix, man. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what the fuck it is. if I could just think of the name, it's about a land. They go to this land, and it's fucking like a new continent appeared on Earth, and they basically go because it's filled with like crazy creatures and shit. And anyways, fuck, what is that fucker called? Man, that's gonna piss me off. Actually,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't. I'm not logged into my Netflix on here.
See someone in the chat knows. I don't know.
I got Netflix, but I've been watching it. I've been watching comedian shit only on there. I haven't watched any anime.
There's some kind of like investigative something. I think it's called Be the Beginning or something like that. I heard it was pretty good, but I don't remember. I don't even know if I made that up. So I might have made the name up.
Yeah, well, there's Be the Beginning, and I haven't.
That's what. It's
Yeah,
called,
yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I've heard it's good. Fuck, what is that?
Did Netflix also do or like I don't know if they produced or funded it? I can't remember exactly what it was, but wasn't Devilman Crybaby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's really fucking good.
The original, the OG manga was still better, but you know, it was good though. I liked it.
There you
go.
A little bleak, but you know. My favorite part of with the rapping niggas. The beginning. The nigga I'm like, oh, let's go! Like they were spitting bars. I don't know what the fuck they was saying, but it was going hard.
That animation was weird as fuck at first, but I'm glad I pushed through that bitch, bro. That shit turned out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean, but like I
got it. Ultramarine Magmel. That's what it's called. Ultramarine Magmel, and it's fucking good, man. It's on, yeah, it's on Netflix. It's really good, and I know Naya, I know you know what I mean by the Prince of Tennis art style. So but the anime, like they actually gave a damn. It's in subbed and in English, or no, it's not in English yet, is it? I'm not.
Ultramarine Magmel originally in Chinese. Oh, Chinese. I'm already in there.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
China be producing some fire, bro. You understand? Like I try to put people on.
You seen that one animation of the one it's been on fucking online for like ever, dog. The badass fucking Chinese animation. Hold on.
Oh, the fog of 5 elements.
I think so.
You talk about the fire and ice dude fighting for like 5 minutes, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, Fog Hill of the Fire or something like that.
Yeah, Fog Hill of the 5 L's, that's what it's called, yeah. That was really good. The Legend of Legend of Hay, I think what's called? The Legend of Lao He? Bro, this Flash animation series. You ever I don't know if you guys ever just go into something, right? And it's like for whatever reason you decide to watch it, but you didn't do any prior research, so you don't necessarily have any grand expectations. But you just get blown away. Like it is whatever it was you were going to get into, it had no right being that good. That's one of those things that happened to me recently. So I would see Legend of Hay trailers like, yo, this Chinese box office is being killed by this movie. And I'm like, oh, this is a prequel to this series. Let me pick the series in the meantime. 27 episodes. They're only about 7 minutes each, right? So I'm like, that's something light. On Sunday, I watched it. I'm like, why is this series so fucking raw? The fights go hard. The characters are good. It is actually so funny. Like I haven't laughed that hard in a long time, and it's just charming. I'm like, bro, why just go so hard for no reason? It's easily the best thing I watched this year. No cap.
Yeah, I was about to ask because we technically like most of us here. You heard that ties that chapter?
No, I really know.
Okay, I can sum it up for you really quick, Naya. The Pokemon trainer pulled some Pokemon trainer shit again, and the ruler came back after being forgotten for 30 chapters.
I'm not reading it.
But guess what? The ruler came back just to be axed. So it didn't do anything. Gother apparently has an ability that he's never used up till now that can nullify the ruler.
Oh yeah.
So just And the only reason he can do that is because Merlin decided to pull Final Fantasy out of her ass and cause them all to limit break with brand new skin.
Our limit break. I'm already out.
Yeah. Limit break, man. Limit break. It's limit break time.
Is that why y'all haven't been doing the Boars podcast?
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of reasons not to do the Boars hat.
Okay, so Grim is just like me. If something that he loves that he covers weekly is ass, he just doesn't address it.
Yeah, he just
So,
leaves it
The
alone.
reason why you haven't seen One Piece on my channel for 3 weeks because I don't give a fuck about these older chapters. I just don't say nothing. I just don't address it. I'll bring it up. I'll talk about it. I just leave it alone.
Yo, Green just spent 20 minutes trying to defend Oda's reputation, bro.
Yeah, no. I did actually. I spent 20 minutes defending Odin, defending rocks, defending. Yeah, I spent a long time just trying to say, yeah, y'all hate me.
No, the rock stuff and the Garp shit, those 2 chapters were gas. Once I came back to this fucking samurai land, I was out.
Yo, Wano big man, bro.
And as I said it. I already said it to Grimna. I said, look, Wano. I know a lot of people for some reason have a problem with it, but I've been rereading One Piece in the colored version and stuff, and I really don't see a difference from.
So wait, the Demon King's beaten for real this time? Oh.
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
That's.
Interesting.
He is.
Somebody dropped the panel on the last page.
What's that?
The last page is like the biggest thing to take away from the.
Oh yeah. He's fading away, and he's talking to Meliodas somehow in the real world or not, or the mental world, and he's got his 10 Commandments gear on for some fucking stupid reason, and
I'm out.
yeah, I'll dude.
Hold on, finish.
As long as Zeldris gets
No, hold on. Agree with finish. Tell him.
All
There's what?
Nigga, he tells Meliodas that there's always going to be evil. And then Meliodas says, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, it's like too bad, you know.
No, that's not the. No, I'm about to drop the panel then because I'm not gonna ignore the context of that shit. The panel made it seem as if.
Yeah, he said, "I welcome it."
Yeah, as if like the Demon King was passing on like the duty of darkness to Meliodas or something like that. Like Meliodas is receiving something. He's not a power, but like a mantle or some shit like that. He's now in charge.
See, you're reading it that way. I hope it's not that way. I don't read it that way because it says, Demon King says, you'll regret this, Meliodas. This will mean the end to the era of light and dark. You realize that? And he says, I welcome it. So that means to me is that maybe the balance, I took it as light and darkness.
No, that's not what it said. I think you read it wrong.
Well, I can drop the panel. I'm reading it right now, dude.
Oh, there's that big of a variance in translation? Check this out.
Yeah, it's a big variant. This is why I wait for fucking Manga Stream to drop it. I don't trust those goddamn www.2.
You will regret this, Meliodas. The cycle of light and darkness is never ending. I'm sure you're aware of that. Of course, I know.
Yo,
and this one. Let's see. I'll paste this one. This one from Manga Stream is totally different. So.
What does it say?
Oh my god! Potion!
It says you'll regret this, Meliodas. This will mean the end to the era of light and dark. You realize that? And he says, "I welcome it." And because of that, I took that as to mean fucking like. They're going to invite chaos, as in the mother of chaos, who was showing up. Like maybe the supreme deity and the whole having the balance of light and dark between those two was a lesser of two evils sort of idea, because otherwise you have chaos. Like they were holding some type of key or balance or gate or seal or something. And Meliodas is like, yeah, no, I'm better off with Mama Hawk than I am with you. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to take it, Grim. I really don't. I like. Your way is fine and stuff, but I think we've already seen Meliodas be evil. We already saw that. For him to turn evil again or take up the mantle again would be so, like, Jesus Christ. Like, this chapter might have been shit, but at least fucking Nakaba has been trying with some stellar art to not make it totally ass for the last few chapters. Like, is he really going to do that again? Like,
I mean, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that he's going to be the Demon King or evil. It's just that, like, he's clear. Like I said, first of all, was to clear this. This is a translation. If you read something different, then we can already nullify both or any resemblance of credibility. What we're saying next has no sense of credibility until we get official translation. But
Yeah. Until we get official, because it's way too different.
But it doesn't like he doesn't have to be the evil that he's talking about. But it's just like it could be him saying that like there's gonna be more evil coming up, regardless of me or some shit like that. I don't know, but this is regardless of that. This is clearly talking about saying that like, sure there could be a part 2. This is opening the door, leaving the door open.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah, I can accept that. I mean, at this point, I really want this series to end. I need it to end because I still hold love in general for the series as a whole. But every single time he drops a fucking chapter like this, I was talking to Greek about this earlier. Fucking, it's actually taken my rating down from what it used to be like an 8.5. Like now, I think I'm down to a 7. And if he keeps pulling shit like this, like it's gonna leave too much of a bitter taste in your mouth. Sure, you might have enjoyed the hors d'oeuvres and the entree and shit, but if your dessert is goddamn trash and you keep fucking eating it, you're not going to remember the goddamn good meal you had before. You're going to remember that goddamn fucking shitty ass dessert.
It's just so unfortunate because I'm the kind of person where the ending is so important to me, no matter what I'm reading or playing, watching. Like some people are really good at kind of just enjoying the ride, the highs and the lows. Yeah, it was good for the most part. I'm fine, but like that shit could have been a great for like the whole ride and end badly, and I'm like that shit was mid, right? So that's kind of how I am. So I'm just so unfortunate because I really did like Taizai for much more than half of the series, but like this end game just not it.
This is weird, man. This is really weird.
It's going out sad, and I just didn't. But like, I didn't expect it with this series. This is one of the things I didn't think it would happen to because it wasn't too long running, right? It wasn't like 700 chapters or anything. Because some of these, when they run too long, they kind of lose focus, and
Yeah.
That's why it's so bad because it's like, man, I feel like this one has so much potential. It's just weird, like it was so sudden. Like the moment that guy like turned into wanting Meliodas' body, like the entire story changed. The entire story changed. I
and you guys,
the last big complaint, the last big ass stream we had was the fucking Big Six shit. That was one of the biggest streams we ever had, and like it was fine. We were complaining, but it was fine. But like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I had problems before, but like I was like, okay, yeah, Merlin pulled some hack shit, but in the end of the day, it didn't actually do anything in the long haul of things because the Sinner came out and stuff, right? And stuff like that. It was like, okay, whatever. But that chapter 300, man, I still remember that Boar's Hat stream, and I remember people trying to defend it and stuff, and I was like, this is the beginning of the end. And I knew it. I didn't like it. I knew this was bad, and look at where we are now. Because I don't think anybody, as a fan of Taizai, I don't think anybody looks back and says, when you ask people what was the pivotal point that Taizai started to really go downhill. Like you might have had problems with the Big Six fight. You might have had problems with the Esterosa male fight. You might have had some problems. But when did it actually start getting bad? Everyone uses chapter 300 as a milestone, as a mark. And it's just, it's really sad because that was supposed to be, I remember, that's still my most watched goddamn video on my channel. It's that review. And I remember saying, this is good, but I have a serious problem with the direction they took. Because at that point, we didn't know that things were going to go as bad as they did, right?
You did the thing with me where it's like, as fine as things were kind of at the point, you could see the fissures. Where it's like if you don't tend to them, it's gonna cause huge craters and cracks in the ground, and everyone's gonna fall in it. It's like you could see where the potential problems would rise, and you were right in the long run. Because it kind of reminds me of the last station in Tower of God, where I'm like, if a lot of things here aren't properly addressed, we could run into some long-standing issues, and lo and behold,
you do, yeah. We saw the holes, but I just don't think like. Correct me if I'm wrong for everyone who reads Taizai in here, but if Meliodas had actually come out of there, I don't know how the story would have gone, but had Meliodas come out of there as himself in that adult form, outside of that, like where are the actual, like you were saying about fissures Naya and stuff, but that would have led us on a much different path, and I think it would have been better overall. I mean, it's easy to say that now, but that's
yeah, I hear you saying.
yeah. Because that's what I thought. Didn't we all think that? The end of 299, we see adult Meliodas like he's goddamn like Link coming out of the fucking Sacred Realm, and we're like, oh
Yes.
goddamn, this is gonna be fucking awesome. Like Meliodas finally an adult form. That was so hype.
And then it was Demon King with no dick print. Yikes.
Yeah, the Demon King with no dick print and a fucking Power Rangers
You
getup.
hate to see it. Where the meat at, huh?
And you think he's a goddamn Demon King?
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, fuck. Goddamn, his hair is fucking. Oh, I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
And then they kind of had a chance for recovery with the Zelda shit. Not really, but kind of. But they fucked all that up too by saying, "Oh, look, we have Frieza. How many forms can we give him? You know, how many forms can we give him until he's at his ultimate strength and he still gets his ass whooped? Like there was never any danger." Also makes, I'm not going to get into the Escanor thing with Grimm, but it also makes Escanor's fucking sacrifice turning into the Ultimate One, which could have been handled so fucking easily to make it a necessity. That's gone, you know? Like he turned into a stronger version to sacrifice his own life for it. And it's like, yeah, but it wasn't necessary because Meliodas could bitch slap this dude by himself this entire time. You know, so it just, oh my god, man. It's so bad.
Well, I don't know. It was a long time I was like sad about it, but I'm over it. I'm over Tyler at this point. I moved on.
I think Naya, because the difference is because of what you were saying. You and Grimm are similar in is that when things start to get bad for you personally, you just don't review it. Me, I on my YouTube channel, as you know, I stick with stuff. So even if I'm bitch moaning and complaining, I'm still reviewing it week to week, month to month, whatever.
Well, there's also the thing with us where like, as much as I rag on Bleach, it hurt me because I spent so many years liking Bleach. I didn't spend nearly as many years on ties that I did with something like Naruto or Bleach for it to end poorly. Where I'm like, damn, that there's like a decade of my life gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
A couple of years. It just didn't hit me the same as like those.
Yeah,
so,
I get that. I think I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed, actually. And actually, I have to watch Sundown's review after this because I was talking to Sundown Ryder because he fucking the chapter before this one, which was abysmal, was about your guy, the Prince, the Goat, and it was really good. Like I'm being totally honest, it was good. There was comedic elements, stuff. The relationship between him and Gelda is good. The read between the lines about what Zeldris is coming for a character development and coming full circle with himself about his brother, about what really was betrayal, what this was. It was solid shit, and I gave false hope to myself by going, yeah, you know what? Even at the end, yeah, he fucked up and he's trying to do damage control, not enough of it, but he's still putting out some decent chapters. And I actually convinced Sundown after he said he hated that chapter. I talked to him about it, and he was basically like, in his next review, he was like, you know what? I have to say, I watched Guru's review and stuff, and I was talking to him, and you know what? He convinced me that I was wrong. That chapter was actually pretty good and stuff. I was like, good, yeah, Taizai might start getting good again. We've had stellar art for a month straight. It's been phenomenal. There's been no fuck-ups, no Merlin hacks, no bullshit. And then he drops this shit. And I'm like, no. He was on a good streak. He was doing well. Like, I gave myself false hope again, so then I got pissed off all over again, I think.
Hate to see it.
I know. It'd be like, as you said, like you're devoting to Bleach. It'd be like halfway through when you started to, the moment you started to hate Bleach, imagine like for a few weeks you actually had hope that Bleach could get better again, and that was just one black spot, and then he fucks it up again. That's basically what I did. I let myself actually enjoy Taizai again, and I wasn't ready to be hurt like that, man.
Nah, Bleach is one series that fooled me multiple times. I'm like, "You back?" And then we weren't back.
Yeah.
I had a lot of.
I agree.
But back then, I had a lot of more hope in my heart. Now it's just full of despair. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you and I will ever fully agree about Bleach, but I mean, Soul Society art shit was fire and stuff. So, at the very least, I think we can agree that Soul Society was great.
It's classic.
There. So
There's a lot of things about Bleach that are good. It's just
yeah.
outside. As much as
Yeah.
I don't like Naruto, but there's things in Naruto that I like. A lot of stuff in there I like. There's good things in there.
Yeah. Actually, in general, when they were talking about the world building and stuff, I was like, I'm actually
I don't
interested.
give a fuck about those fucking kids. Boruto? Oh my! Don't even talk to me. I'm not even gonna entertain it. Just don't give a fuck about any of those kids.
No.
Oh, you got a Sharingan, but you blind. Huh? You have glasses?
yeah,
I'm
the glasses. Yeah, the glasses shit. Oh no.
Oh yeah,
The
no.
Uchiha with glasses. What the fuck?
Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking
That's
sense.
some Sakura
You know,
jeans, bro. I'm telling you, the Sakura jeans. Sucking it up.
fuck, man, fuck. You know, my biggest problem with Naruto actually was that I didn't mind the world, I didn't mind the concept, and I liked a lot of the characters. I just hated the main cast. So how can you fucking like a series when literally every single chapter you have to follow one of the three, and the three
Don't
all
talk about my
suck?
hero. I hate everybody. I hate all those fucking kids.
Oh my god, I can't
said,
stand.
I don't think it's bad. It's like, yo, I don't like Bakugo. I don't like Todoroki. I don't like Deku. I don't like anybody in 1A. I don't like anybody in 1B. I don't like most of the heroes. I
That's
don't like
why-
most of the villains.
Dude, that's why my hero had its highlight when we were following fucking Endeavor and Hawks, and then we followed the villains. Because I love that dude that fucking pieces himself that splits all the time. I forget his name. He's
Batman's
always
guy, right?
Twice?
yeah, the dude who's always like can make ultimate like copies of himself or whatever. That guy.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, twice. I love his backstory. I found him entertaining. I was enjoying those chapters. Then we jump back to Deku. Now I don't give a fuck. I really don't, because I'm like, I don't get why people like this. This is just Naruto 2.0 with Western elements. I'm not interested. You know, I'm just not. Like, I'm more. It's like the Naruto feel all over again. I'm more interested in the side characters that they don't explore than I am in the goddamn main cast. You know, like that just knows right there. You didn't make. You did something wrong. You know.
I mean, for the first time, like in a long ass time, One Punch gave other mangas a chance to take chapter of the week and shit. This week was kind of slow, but I don't know if anybody else took it, bro.
I just be laughing because we just don't see eye to eye. One Punch Man, like that shit is not that heat to me, but I feel it.
No, you and I agree, Naya, because I follow One Punch Man. I'm actually more into One Punch Man because I joined this Discord, and Grim invited me and stuff, and I'm always talking with a lot of the guys in the Discord about it. That is literally and I'm listening to like Grim's podcast and stuff. That is the only reason that I'm more invested in One Punch Man. Like, I would not keep up with the chapters. I'd be like, oh, like I'm really bored. Oh, I haven't checked One Punch Man in 5 months. That was me. I literally,
It's been like a year for me at this point.
yeah, like I literally wouldn't care. I'm like, okay, we're following a dude who's a Goku parody. I don't care. Like, that was my premise on it. Then I read it and I'm like, okay, it's a little more than that, but
All right,
nah,
you're good then.
whatever.
As long as you say it's more than that. I'm tired of niggas saying that shit. If you say it's just that, you're not reading it.
Well, I mean,
The thing about
Saitama
it
is
for
still
me-
that. I'm not interested in Saitama
the thing
at
about
all.
it for me is just like the things that I like about One Punch Man. No one really cares about. They just care about who you can fucking beat, fight, and shit like that. But like for me, like in terms of one's work, I just think Mob Psycho is a superior work in my opinion. I like it more. Like, I love Mob Psycho. One Punch Man was cool, but I think the novelty wore off on me pretty quickly.
I'm a fan of Mob Psycho more than One Punch Man, that's for sure. But honestly, I'm just not a huge fan of either series. I mean, I'm a fan, like I like them, but I'm not, like, as I said, I don't rush out. Like, I have to be reminded to read One Punch Man, like I do. Like,
I
that's
totally feel
sad, you know. And if someone's like the only reason I read this latest chapter, I wouldn't have known it was out, but I think it was Stogus and somebody else said, what did you think of that chapter? I'm like, what chapter? One Punch Man. I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to drop a link. Like, I'm that bored that I'm too lazy to actually search for the One Punch Man chapter in my browser. I'm like, you have to drop a link because I'm not looking for it.
As
And
long
the-
as y'all aren't trying to justify it by saying that like it's a shadow
No,
or
it's
anything
not.
like that.
I'm not calling it bad or nothing. But one
Okay,
question: is it has Murata passed where 1 was initially yet, or he's still behind?
He's still behind.
Okay, because that's how far I was for years. So I was kind of just waiting for him to catch up. Then I was gonna go and read it and see what's good.
Yeah.
There's been several pivotal like plot changes. It's not.
I've heard they've changed some stuff too. So
Yeah.
I gotta go look and see what they changed.
It's fundamentally like hugely different. There's a lot of huge points like apparently from what I hear that follow the same
better, though?
plotline, but so
Are they
again,
better changes? Are they better changes in your opinion from what you know?
I don't know.
We there's no way to know because like Grim nor I read the webcomic, so
Oh, okay.
and we try to stay away from that because if you get into that, then like I've been told like you should read the webcomic. Then other people are like don't, So I'm like, well, I'm not that interested.
From what I hear in the community, they like the manga a lot. Like it's great. Nothing wrong
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. Nobody's upset that reads the webcomic. Put it that way.
Okay.
So, I mean, the art's good.
How are you feeling about soul leveling? I caught back up the other day.
Oh, you come back up, bro?
Just because I had time, but I still feel the same. But the mom shit got me.
The mom shit, yeah. The mom shit hit me
I was like,
hard
oh,
too, dog.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh damn. Okay.
Yeah, that was good. I was kind of mad that like we hadn't gotten as much or like stronger development and connections for her throughout the entire story, but it was enough to where like I got it. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, bro, for a long time I've been wanting to hype that shit up. It was like having comparable chapters and everything else, but just nobody's reading it or like the hype for that shit's like died down. I don't know what it is, but like
the hype has died down. People are definitely still reading it though.
Yeah, I think I heard news of an anime coming out for something like that. You
No.
hear anything with that?
No, there's no anime.
Wow. I didn't think so. No, there's no anime.
There's no anime. The only webtoons we know get well, that's RN. I can't remember what it's called, but that's not on Line Webtoons. But I know Line Webtoons have partnered with Crunchyroll, so they're working on some shit. But we just know the Tower of God and Noblesse is getting another anime. They had an OVA.
That's what I heard. I heard TOG's getting one.
Yeah, it's that and Noblesse. So we'll see.
I thought Noblesse already had one.
It does have an OVA and shit, but it's actually horrendous. And it really hurt my feelings because that's my very first webtoon. Take it back to 2010. First webtoon I ever read was Noblesse. And I thought that shit was
That shouldn't even look like a webtoon.
at
It
the
looks like a
time.
regular-
I'm like, this
It's a
shit.
regular manga, man.
The rawest thing I ever read at the time. One of the time, bro, this shit is so heat. First time I seen Raziel tell a nigga to kneel, and that nigga kneeled. Bro, it's like, bro, I can't remember how I was way younger too, so I was just losing my shit. I was pacing back and forth. Oh my god, this shit wrong.
Hey, compared to most of the webtoons or mangas that you read, how is the art for Solo?
It's one of the better ones, actually. It's upper echelon. It's one of the best ones I've read in terms of just pure artistic direction, fluidity of the fight, things of that nature.
Yeah, I was about to ask
good.
that next, bro, because like I'm sorry, dog, but just the fluidity of the TOG fights, I wasn't fucking with it. Like I said, you already know I had a very small taste, so I can't really judge it.
No, but I would say that for Tower of God, for the action webtoon, it's actually lacking in that department. It's gotten a lot better. And now I would say it's standard in terms of just like action webtoons, but things like Gosu, the Noblesse, God of High School,
Yeah.
I would even throw in Unordinary is getting a lot better with its choreography, are just generally better in terms of just pure action than Tower of God. But Tower of God got a lot better in the second season, especially around the Floor of Death and whatnot. The action sequences got a lot better. Name Hunt Station, sorry. So
because these are like amateur
the one thing you like I said, with the Tower of God journey you'll like is seeing the improvement artistically. So at one point you're gonna be like, yeah, it's cool, but at one point you're gonna be like, oh my god, this fight going kind of hard. Like he's gotten a lot better than this. And then you're gonna be like, shit. He gets a lot better, and then now he has assistants for like to help him like look like backgrounds and shit. So
I noticed that about a lot of webtoons. I mean, we noticed it in manga over time, but in webtoons, it seems like once they start getting popular, they do focus more on the artwork, and they seem to get a lot better. Most of my webtoons are like romance or comedies or stuff, so I don't really read the action ones. But
Wait.
yeah,
We talking about that porn whore? We in there? We talking about Sweet Guy? Talking about
Uh,
the brawling?
no,
Are those
no.
webtoons or are those manhwas?
Manhwa. There's no webtoons. There's no webtoons, but they're like manhwa.
Yeah, because a manhwa is still technically like, well,
The biggest one. Sorry, that's not to cut you off. One of the biggest mistakes people make is that I think webtoons are just from Korea. That's not the case. Any web comic or any series that's published on a website, usually in a long strip format, is a webtoon.
Yeah.
Whether it's from America, Europe, Korea, they're all webtoons.
Right.
So,
but if it's from Korea, it's a manhwa.
so it's also gets a Chinese is also a manhwa. Like
Yeah.
So just add that label to it as well. But yeah, like they're webtoons. So
yeah.
Love Parameter, all those ones with the section shit, drug candy shit, they're all webtoons.
I mean, I read some of those, but mostly I read. What do I got on mine right now? I got like Let's Play.
Addicted. I can't stop. I read them all. I spent the entire day reading.
You have to do that, bro. They spirals. You can't read one chapter, and then after you've done an entire binge and you're done with one, you can't stop. You gotta read another one. Stay into it.
I'm on my desk, dick on brick.
Dead ass, man. You only stop when your meat gets like when your meat starts to hurt, man, and you start playing the game, and then like after a while, oh shit, my meat's ready again. Like I just bust. Oh shit. Oh, I forgot what happened. What's gonna do next? That's why it's so good, because like the story actually has quality. It makes you want to like. Bro, yes, bro. Nigga, like I be saving my nut, bro. I be like, damn, I can't finish right now.
Bro,
what you gotta do next, bro?
Like, and then like when the drama starts to hit and people start cheating, niggas getting NTR. I'm like, oh, like this drama hit. I can't stop.
I don't like it though, bro, because sometimes you get too invested in a character and like they do some fuck shit and you don't even want to beat off anymore. Too. It's just like, oh, why did you do that? Fuck, like dead ass. I've lost interest in like characters because of like their actions after a while. Like
especially when you see some super simp shit, like we can't.
Oh yeah,
you can't fall.
No.
I just be like you going out sad.
Because it's still like porn. Like it's still you relating to the character who's like prominent in there. So if he a simp and shit, like nah, I can't do that.
Yep. But I always laugh at some of these scenarios to begin. I'm like, bro, this just would not happen in real life. It'd be funny sometimes. I remember like some of this shit happened in like Brawl and Go. I'm like, bro, this is just not happening to anybody. And if it is,
I think I read
something not right in Korea. Like I don't know, something different over there. That's the one with the dude who used to be. It was in Enoch. He was like he couldn't get hard, and then they went on that trip and he got bit by whatever thing. And then now when he gets hard, he gets super hard. He can't not get hard until he nuts. He's like, I need help, and he's like crying, and she's like, of course I'll help you. Like, bitch, what? Like, oh, of course I'll help you. What is this?
I've heard one where there's
wait, and he got bitten by a poisonous snake, and she sucked the poison out of his meat.
That sounds like some prison school shit. Yeah, it happened like it was a poisonous snake that bit someone's one of the girls' thighs. It bit these niggas twice. It bit her in the thigh, and then it bit the other student in the ass. Oh no! And it turns out the shit wasn't even poisonous.
Yeah, it was comedy.
Yeah.
Poisonous.
Yeah, it wasn't even poisonous.
What's my girl's name? Hannah?
Bro. Yeah, Hannah. Yeah.
Didn't she pee on my name or something? She wild.
She.
Yeah, she pees on guys. Like she weird.
Oh, that's the famous one. The one that all the gifts are about. The blonde haired one.
Wait, what happened?
She's my favorite. Her and the old person with the curly hair. Those are my favorite two characters. I gotta look her up. I don't remember her name. Her curly hair. I think she was like the underground president or something like that. It's been so long since I read it.
Kate.
Is her name Kate?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time since I read that.
Yeah, say like I I read the last chapter, but I didn't like actually finish. I just read the last chapter.
It
Yeah.
was bad.
No, so some of it started to bore me.
Take no Miya, yeah. That's my goal.
Yeah, same.
That's my goal. 100%. Well, this guy's artwork is dope. I heard it's a new series with like racism. Your boy was hyping it up in the M5.
Yeah, Wave. Yeah. I guess.
What's going on?
Yeah, because I've heard about it. It's called Devil's Blues, I think. Yeah, because I've heard about it, but that surprised me that he was actually doing the story for it too. Because I was like, damn, like Prison School was like completely different. Not and now the new series that he's doing, which surprised me because of how trash the ending for Prison School was, because it felt like he just rushed everything. The new series he has is called Raw Hero. It's the exact same shit, same jokes, same character designs. I'm like, bro, so you got rid of Prison School just to do the same shit over? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's weird.
Some content creators are just weird like that. Like some of them I like because they'll do something like they'll flex their entire range. So they'll like look an action series and a love series and like a slice of life series, whatever. They'll kind of flex it. But some of them will do something, stop, and then just make the same series with a different name. Like, bro, this is the same series. It's the same character. He's just wearing a striped shirt. Like who are you fooling? Like, this is the same fucking manga. Like,
yeah, at the very least, like, call it part 2. Like, don't.
Bro,
I hate it when they do that.
You have to understand, I love Nozoki Anna. It's so good. I love that series to death. This nigga made was it Kimi, Nozoki X Kimi or whatever? It's the same premise. It's the same series. Why did you do this? Like, who do you think he was fooling? Like, this is this. I read the whole thing either way, but like, this is the same fucking series. Like, this is the same shit. I couldn't believe it. They both Nozo X Kimi. There you go. Nozo X Kimi. That's what it's called. But bro, this is the same fucking series as Nozoki Anna, but a poor man's version. Like, why did you do this?
Hiro Mashima does that shit.
Yep.
That same shit. And when I say same character designs, I can understand like you have another character that just looks like a character. But the thing is,
Ezra has been carried over in 3 series.
Yeah.
It's like the same main characters. He keeps using the same design. I'm like, Lucy from Fairy Tail is this character from that series and that character from that series.
Yep.
Yeah, Eden Zero and Rave Master.
And then we actually have Plu from Rave Master.
Yeah,
and
Plu
and isn't Happy in Eden Zero or my?
I think like some version of Happy. Yeah.
Yeah, Happy's.
Yeah, Plu is like a Easter egg basically. He doesn't even really do shit. He just yeah.
Yeah, it's okay if you do it once, like with the Plu thing, with the mascot character, and you put them in every single thing, right? That's a little different than like.
Okay, but are y'all now hyped for that 3-way crossover?
Oh no!
I mean,
I told y'all he was setting it up.
I mean, you know what? I wouldn't be unhappy because I actually liked Fairy Tail for a long time. I love Rave Master. Rave Master is fucking awesome. And
Fairy Tail my favorite one out of.
Really? I like Rave Master.
I can't see that. I haven't read Eden Zero yet. Yes. So
I read something on Hiro Mashima. I don't know if it's true, but I guess like it was from some interview. I'm trying to see if I can find it real quick on my phone. But basically, what he said was that he would, like after a certain point of Fairy Tail, he was just going by that shit week to week. He was not. He didn't even have anything really planned. Hold on.
Okay.
I can believe that.
Here it is. I have it. It says, on the other hand, for my second series, Fairy Tail, I went the opposite direction, and he's talking about Rave Master, and I had pretty much nothing decided at all. The only thing that was predetermined was the hero's backstory. So from week to week, even I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Yeah, that's a lot more common than you think, though. At least he admitted it. That's a lot more common than you think, but like, that ain't it, Chief.
That's big trash.
Nah.
I think you need to some degree. I understand at an even point, like something could happen. You might like. I think one thing that's cool that some authors are good at doing is like let's say, me and Sasuke write something, he's the artist, I'm the writer, and a character we didn't think would be popular ends up being super popular, and maybe we plan to write them away or kill them off, but they might keep them in the story. Doing shit like that to me is fine and cool because we never expected it. Like, yeah, I can find something for this character to do. Find what you can remember. To just have no idea what you're doing week to week and just pulling out your ass. It shows. It shows in your work. You could see it, my nigga.
Like, I'm of the firm belief that Kubo intended to kill Byakuya off.
Of course, easily.
But that was an easy one. But because Byakuya is such a fucking fan favorite character, he couldn't do it. And it's like, you can kind of understand. But considering it was the end of the arc, that's another thing that I don't like. Is like, you're right where people say, oh, well, shit, this character got way more popular than I thought, and I didn't intend for that. So you either you put them in more scenes, or you don't kill them off when you intend to, whatever, right? But especially at the end of a series, that's literally when you can kill characters, Like, that's the classic time to kill them.
But I feel like that's like, you're 100% right. That's the classic time to kill them, and that's when you should do that. But, like, I feel like that's almost irresponsible. I feel like you have to kill characters before that.
What do you mean? Like right now, for example, in Taizai, I don't think Nakaba has the balls to do it, but Escanor should die at the end of this fight because we've been told he can't survive, and he even is saying that right now the only reason he's able to use this super form is because he's actually channeling what's left of his life as well into the grace. So he's going to die. He should die, and Nakaba should have the balls to actually off him. But he's not going to. There's going to be something that's going to save him. And it's going to be bullshit.
Wrong, but like, is there something like most often like the third part of the story is when like authors will have like the main character's mentor or like some important character die so that like it can help inspire the main for the rest of the story, something like that. That I feel like that's cliche as fuck, and like.
Dying for the plot like Neji in Naruto.
Yeah. That's a good example of that. Where like.
Yeah,
it's obviously you only kill characters or do anything when there's a purpose for it and when it's gonna move the plot forward. But
you also have the flip side of that, Grim. You have the flip side like Makarov in Fairy Tail. He should have been dead 3 fucking different times in 3 different arcs, and he didn't die. Now the fans are pissed off. We would have been happier with his character had he died. That's the point. So even if something, as you said, is cliche, like the old mentor or something. Sometimes killing them off is definitely way better than keeping them alive. Like, it might be considered cliche, but I mean, almost every shonen, I think that or shonen in general, but most of the mangas I've read have tropes in them. Might be small, might be large, but every single one of them has cliche shit in it. Doesn't mean it's not great.
I don't mean to use the example because like it just worked so well, but like, and it's still controversial to this moment. But I think the fact that it's controversial is the point that it worked. Orochi in One Punch Man. This is somebody who like this is that same stereotypical instance where like you're getting the main villain, a super powerful guy who you think is going to be the all.
Yeah, that one makes no sense to me though.
And you take him out like nothing. Like that's the whole point where like it doesn't have to like make the most sense or like there's a purpose to it. We still haven't seen the purpose to it, but like.
I mean, we might not have seen the purpose to that, but that one still pisses me off.
Exactly,
that one makes
that's
no
the point.
sense.
It wasn't done in a predictable time period whatsoever. We till this day, people are still incredibly arguing whether he's gonna come back or not, whether he's still alive or not. It's like I'm not saying that he did it masterfully, but like sometimes a simple inversion of a fucking trope or a trait or a fucking characteristic of a story is just fine.
I mean, it can be, but I don't think. I don't know, man. I think that when it comes to One Punch Man, that's a little more difficult because, as I said, I know you don't agree that it's a parody, and I mean, I don't think the entirety of the manga or the story is a parody, but Saitama is a parody character, in my opinion.
That's not an opinion. It's clearly.
Yeah, clearly. Okay. I'm just saying because Grim gets mad about it. Grim gets mad about it. That's why.
Like I said before, you can't read One Piece or all these stories where the majority of things that other characters are doing are gagging, or they have a lot of gag features, and then not accept it. It's the same exact of realism. The same amount of realism and like concrete.
Yeah, but Luffy's never.
I'm not saying not to expect it, but the premise of One Punch Man in the terms that you have a character that's already reached the pinnacle of power is a spin on the fact that a lot of the characters you see them, they try to work their way to the top, and the fact that he's bored and he's doing the most mundane things is a satirical take on the Shonen Jump genre of the battle genre. People like, oh yeah, like the main character has to overcome all these trials and tribulations, but when he comes, he just undercuts all the tension because it's just over. He's gonna win.
Yeah, but
And that's why I don't.
It's basically
the entire story.
we
That's not what the
wait.
entire story
We
is, though.
No, I'm not saying that, but that's just largely a part of it,
But-
and that's what. But to me, that's what makes it so funny and interesting. Really, like
Yeah,
But
I'm not going to
that's
argue
not
that it's
it, though.
interesting.
That's
the
not
other
key to the
heroes
story.
and
But
whatnot, Aaron fights and things of that nature, that's obviously serious. That's different. I'm talking about anything related to Saitama personally, him
Right.
himself.
That's what I'm saying as
He's
well.
basically
And because he's
mocking
not- and
the
because he's not
shonen
the
jump
majority of the
genre itself.
and because he has more features than just that, you can't call it, like I said, you can't. It's the exact same thing as Luffy. Like they have the exact same amount of parodies and joke things in them, the exact same amount of crazy like twerky stuff in them, and Luffy has even more so because he's been serialized a lot longer than Saitama has.
And I think you're missing what I'm trying to say.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all, you can't like chalk that. You can't call it a parody.
No,
and
because
try to
I'm not
justify
like
it is, but,
no, because
it's
like
not.
you're just getting defensive because of One Punch. I understand.
No, I'm not.
but
Baby.
I'm not.
You can't call it a parody when it's not a parody. Like, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Like any series with jokes and gags in it doesn't make it doesn't make it satirical.
Exactly.
Like-
Yes.
Like
That's what I'm
Madoka. Oh, but Madoka, you didn't read Madoka box. I can't use that example. But like
Oh, there's a perfect example now.
it
Right
is,
there.
but he doesn't read it, so I don't even.
Oh, that's true
The
too.
problem is the
Which-
story was introduced to the world. That's how it first started off like that. It
It'd be
began
hard
like
to
that,
explain it.
and the story has developed into much more of a big plot story-based thing. It's not
Oh,
that
man.
satire.
Okay.
parody.
The best way for me to
Medica's a better
the best
Saitama,
way
though.
for me to say this to you is like you tell me in your personal opinion what One Punch Man is about, and then I'll tell you what I think it's about.
Nothing.
What?
It's literally about. If you really want to.
Whoa, wait, what?
One Punch
This
Man.
talks about nothing. I'm reading about
One
nothing.
Punch Man is either about nothing or about the story of an individual who's depressed and how he's going about dealing with his depression. Simply it. We got the biggest plot point for Saitama. We got it about 15 chapters ago, where he was walking down the street with King, and he told him that, or King told him that maybe what you're looking for isn't more strength or a final fight. Maybe your imperfections are in a different area. And then he showed Saitama that he is indeed imperfect. You may be good in one quality, but you're not the best in others. And then that's one of the biggest plot points we've gotten to that we've gotten as of yet. So I keep saying like you can't call
That's
it a
fine,
parody. You can't
but
call it a
we've been-
parody when there's deeper development and deeper plot points than in One Piece itself. And they're
Yeah, but we've
consistent.
been following characters that aren't Saitama for the longest fucking time, so it's not just about Saitama anymore, I think, and that's what gets a lot of people hype about One Punch Man. Like, I'm way more interested in chapters that don't have the supposed main character, the One Punch Man, than I am about the chapters that do have him. Yes, the Orochi thing was, like, really, like, goddamn, that was drawn really well, but that was boring as shit, because we knew Saitama was going to one-punch him. I could have just scanned through it like bam, bam, bam. If I didn't give a fuck about the
All I'm saying
art,
is that if One Punch is a parody, so is One Piece.
No, you're wrong in that nature. Because
Yeah.
because what a parody is, right? Is when you deliberately
A focus,
exaggerate
yes, a focus on the exaggeration of something.
certain things in the genre for comedic effect or comic effect, right?
Yeah.
So it makes fun of the superhero genre for one, correct? They
Yes,
work
it-
for money.
because it
A lot of
involves
them are
superheroes.
no, it makes fun of Goku. Use Goku then.
superhero and superheroes in the set. Well, Goku is kind of not a superhero,
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's the
Saitama,
genre
though.
it's in, though.
right? Then it mocks literally the Shonen Jump battle manga in general,
Yep.
with a lot of things that it does, right? Because it like you take a character like King and Saitama and themselves, and Genos, who keeps getting these ultimate super upgrades, but he just doesn't like win any fight ever, even though he keeps getting these power ups and whatnot.
Parody on main
It's like
character.
they're taking a lot of the main tropes of DC and Shonen, and he's like flipping them and making fun of. He's like poking fun, like how like this is dumb.
All
and
right,
he's
so
putting-
using that exact same language. So
so-
when authors use techniques and stories that are most often common, or you've seen them before, they're called tropes. So what we're saying is that because one uses story techniques that others use
I
a
would
lot, and then he twists
personally, I
them.
would say it's more satirical than it is parody. That's my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, I would agree
That's
with
me
that.
personally. But sorry, keep going. I didn't mean
Just
to-
saying, like it's like the whole
Cut-
thing about the whole artistry thing about like the subversion part. Like all artists do that. I'm pretty sure that like half of what art is described at is like breaking boundaries or not following rules or creativity or whatever. So this author is like exceptionally good at creativity. He happens to focus on like that word you use, satire, is much more appropriate to describe the concepts in the tropes in One Punch Man than call it a parody, because a parody dismisses the story. in general.
it's more so
But
where like
that's the problem. You think that
It's a mockery.
calling it a parody, calling it a mockery or a parody or something.
Parody is
it's
calling
not
it a
it's
mockery. Yes.
to be satirical is actually really hard. It's really you have to be
Yeah.
really intelligent to do that, right? Like
I think at the end of the day,
It's a
Grim,
credit-
you
it's a
find
credit
parody
to-
an insult. It's not an
It's a
insult.
credit-
That's not
credit
what
to
I'm
One
saying. I'm
Punch
saying that
Man
you
that
guys are degrading the story's individuality by saying that it is.
I'm not degrading the stories in
My
the
nigga, bro, I'm telling you how I'm taking it. I'm not saying how you're delivering it. You may have an intention, but your intention doesn't have to be how we receive it. It isn't your intention is true, but it doesn't have to be received that way. What I'm saying is that the way I'm taking what you're saying is that you're saying that One Punch Man is just something based on others, made to make fun of, or it's made in contrast to something else.
Oh, so you're just saying that I'm saying that its pure existence is to mock everything. It has nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
and we're not saying that.
I'm
We've
not
never
saying
said
that.
that.
That's not what I mean.
Yeah, we've never. I don't
Okay,
think.
so
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah.
That's not what I mean at
So-
all. Because I do think
Yeah.
Saitama is a unique character in his own right.
Yeah, there is uniqueness
really
to his
is
character.
like- Yeah, and like even his training regimen for how he got so strong is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it's absurd, but it's funny. And I mean, you know.
I do more than that every day. I'm not that strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not arguing about the quality of like the techniques. I'm just saying that like using techniques in general is something that all authors do. So why is that when he like utilizes the techniques in a different way, it's labeled as like inferior or something? It's just a different take on that genre, isn't it? Hello?
I thought I cut out. Sorry.
Yeah,
I heard silence for a second. So I was like,
Yeah, you're kind of cutting out a little bit, Grim, when you're talking. So sometimes it's hard to tell if you're done or.
was it me? I thought I cut out.
Did I cut out when I was saying that?
I don't know. I thought I cut out.
I thought Grim cut out.
No, I was just saying that like authors use like techniques and like you can call them like sometimes tropes or whatever in stories all the time. That's like how you write. So I just think it's weird that like because he does it in a different way or because he like uses techniques in a different way than somebody else does, that his work is labeled in a certain category. And that category, because all techniques can be labeled in categories, it seems like this category is a lot more negative or looked down upon or disregarded as like trash.
But what I want you to take away from what I'm saying is like a satire / parody is one of the tags that I would give One Punch Man a ranking. I wouldn't call it purely just satire. I say, yeah, it's shonen, it's battle, it's this, it's that, plus satire, plus parody.
Right.
It's not just a parody manga. Just a parody manga would be
like you would add action, romance, comedy, adventure. You would add all those genre tags to it.
Like
you would add that as
You
one
would
more.
also add parody and satire.
There's
to One Piece,
still
correct,
there's
right?
still
Yes.
characterization, character developments, action,
Right.
things of the nature. Like it's not literally just we're just here to mock.
Or then-
Yeah,
then
exactly.
To progress the
I'm saying
conversation,
that's the big part of it, but that's the part I like the most because I like that it mocks Shonen Jump. I like that it mocks superhero genre.
To progress the conversation, then I think that you still hold the opinion that that's the majority of the content, and that's one thing. That's the second part that I think is like that I have a problem with. That like because you don't read as much, and it's solely because you gave me that information that you don't read it as much, that you hold that it's the majority of its content is consistent with like what you find I like most about it. It's like satirical always, and that the majority of the plots and storylines are leading towards that. And that's like the part that like it makes me feel like, all right, because you're not into the story, you're disregarding it as that.
I'm not though.
I bet I believe.
I mean,
Because I don't even dislike One Punch Man at all. I just
I have to say that I went from dislike to being okay with it. Like I went from literally disliking it before, like a few years ago when it was first, and everybody was hyped about it and stuff, and I was just like, I don't get it. I literally, it wasn't about actually I shouldn't say I disliked it. I didn't get it, and I hated the fact that people were doing. It's like the same old like Saitama. Fine, Saitama versus Alucard then. Saitama versus God then. Saitama versus Haruhi Suzumiya then.
Yeah,
Like when you take
but
somebody
it's
who's
just on a
and
personal
that was my
basis.
only. No, I'm just saying that was my only introduction to the series because I didn't read the webcomic, I didn't read the manga, I didn't watch the anime. All I heard was about this bald fucking guy who's apparently a parody of superheroes, who's everybody's putting in these versus matches, and it sounds so fucking stupid. So I was just like, why are people doing this? Why are people hyping this up? I didn't really get it. Then I got into it and I was like, okay, it's way more than that. And I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad and stuff. I'm not super hype about it. I think the story is very, as I think Naya's kind of trying to say, is that, yeah, it might have its own individual characters and stories and stuff, but a lot of them are, let's kind of take a bit of a mockery, a bit of a satire element to, well, here was the classic Frieza Goku storyline. Let's do that, but let's do it a little different. Let's make a big mockery out of it, and stuff like that. Like, I don't think there's anything super. I don't know. For me personally, like you're saying, the storylines and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay, they're fine, but like this latest chapter was so boring. That's like some of the only, like for me personally, like some of the really original storylines is this whole Drive Night, Metal Night sort of idea and the Genos thing all going on, and I'm like, I really just don't care. Like something about it isn't pulling me in, and I don't know what it is. Might be. But that could be me. I could be wrong. A lot of people like One Punch Man way more than I do. So,
But like I said, it's not on a personal basis of liking that. It's just that and it's the same thing with Taizai too. Like whenever I hopped into the Taizai community and shit, because I was like I was done with the stupidity of Oda with One Piece. Like there was a stigma to it, and maybe it's because I was moving from One Piece, so the majority of the voices I was hearing involved One Piece and shit, and that's like a certain like niche of people who stand that shit. But like there's been a stigma for like different kinds of stories and shit like that. And it's like it really just has to be that I'm coming from the One Piece community, because I just don't, the way certain people talk about other shit is just so disregarding and so championing of like their own shit. Like a lot of these shits aren't good. Like just they're really just not good. It's annoying. Half of these mainstream ones are just not good, and then because they're mainstream, so many of these dudes who get support the shit.
I don't think you can call One Punch Man not mainstream anymore.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Mainstream. That's only mainstream.
Yeah, like One Punch Man is complete mainstream. Like there's just
100% because it broke the anime threshold. So people who don't even like anime
watch exactly. So I mean, it's definitely there. It's just that for me personally, like when, as I said, I won't call it boring. Like I just don't want it to sound insulting. It's just that at the end of the day, One Punch Man holds very little interest for me. I don't find anything that people are like, oh my god, this is so great.
Say it's boring, I'm not trying to censor you, bro. I'm not saying that.
No,
like,
I'm just saying the plot lines to me, I've seen them before.
And I haven't
like
defended my nigga. Like you already know, anything you say, I'm gonna defend that. I'm like, it's
yeah. I'm just saying that me personally on a personal level, it's just like One Punch Man, I understand. I can kind of get it, and I can give it the respect it deserves, but I don't go crazy for it because I'm just like, so when people are like, oh my god, how can you not think like One Punch Man is in the top 5 manga of all time? And I'm like, because I think there are 5 better manga. Like it's just it's simple as that, I don't, but people, that's the thing. It's kind of toxic because I find the One Punch Man community as toxic as the Naruto one used to be. I find it super toxic.
Nigga, it's the Discord. Don't label it One Punch Man.
No. I've been on Reddit forums. I've been on YouTube. I've been on Reddit, man. I've seen a lot of it.
The only thing I don't like about One Punch Man fans is that they want to know, they want to compare Saitama to everybody. Like,
yeah,
could Saitama be Super Saiyan fucking stacked Kaioken times 2 with Ultra Instinct stacked on top of it? Like, nigga, what is wrong with you? Just read your series in peace. Like, why are you worried?
I hate cross matches.
Why are you worried? No verses from us, not from this community, bro.
Yeah, why are you worried about this? Like, that's my only thing wrong. Like One Punch community doesn't anything wrong to me other than that. Really, I'm like, that shit's annoying. But
yeah, like I can pull characters out of a manga that nobody's heard about and be like, yeah, this person can totally beat Saitama, and Saitama wouldn't even know. Like, and it's like, oh, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count. It's like, fuck off. If you're gonna do one OP character, I'm gonna use another OP character. Like, who
like,
cares?
I'm picking Seiya. Like, fuck with the
Yeah.
with the gold cloth. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
Like,
Yeah, I don't like when people do the versus thing. And see, I think that's my problem is that I was introduced to One Punch Man through all the versus stuff on YouTube and the forums and stuff, and I was just like, who is this bald fucking nobody that everybody gives a shit about? And I'm like, you know, and then when I found out, I was like, well, this is, and then as I said, I didn't read the series, and I took it as full frontal. I'm like, of course a parody character can win. Fucking Scooby-Doo can figure out how to beat Saitama, for God's sakes, because it's a fucking kid's show. I don't care, you know, and then I actually got into it, and I started to go, okay, I'm interested in the other characters, but one thing I still disagree with is the whole Orochi thing. As I think Naya pointed out, it takes away a lot of the tension when Saitama is involved, and I was hype for some Orochi shit to go down. I wanted to know who was going to fight Orochi. I was like, is it going to be Bang and Bomb? Is Genos going to get involved? Is my boy Garo actually going to have a second bout with this dude? I was like,
but that's the point of that, to play with that trope.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that I was getting super hype, right? Like I was ready for it, and basically he took the win. Basically, it's like that. Have you ever had like the wind knocked out of you sort of idea? It was that kind of feeling. I'm like, once Saitama showed up, it was like this sinking feeling of, oh, fuck off.
Yeah,
now the whole tension of the rest of this arc is gone for me. I cannot care until the next Orochi / Boros / new character comes up.
Like,
I don't care.
It's not that the tension's gone; it's that now it's unpredictable, and that's better than the predictable tension.
No, well, I mean, you could say it's unpredictable. I can give you that, but at the end of the day, now I don't care, because it doesn't matter what Black Sperm or fucking Fear Ugly or any of them do, because Saitama already took it, or Gyoro. It doesn't matter, because the Earth ain't going to be blown up, because Saitama will eventually go grocery shopping.
No, but
and he will. So I don't care.
I want to say this though. I want to say this though, right? The thing that I do like with One Punch Man is that even though Saitama shows up, there's still the element of like possible humor I'm gonna get, where like the bad guy can go on, you know, like another thing of mockery. Don't you know who I am? I've consumed 500 universes, and I am the bringer of darkness and chaos. And while this guy is talking about how powerful he is, Saitama will be like, did I turn the stove off? Like, is that shit on? Is my house on fire?
Yeah.
He's not worried about what this nigga is saying. And like, that shit is still full. So like, I have a great time.
Don't get me wrong, Naya. That shit is funny. That shit is funny.
Because because I think one of the biggest problems a lot of Korean webtoons have is that their main characters become so overpowered. And I'm throwing in the main character of Soul Leveling to this. When they show up, I personally relax as a reader. I go, oh, you know, thing from Soul Leveling's here. He about to summon all his necromancer shit and win the battle.
That's the point of that. That's the setup for them.
And to me, if you're engaged in the combat aspect and you like to see your character struggle in terms of having to grow and go through real trials and adversity and overcome their limits, it could be annoying to read because you're like, this guy's so fucking powered. And for some series, I get you, that's the point. But I could see why it would bother somebody. Like for me,
no. That's the
I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to that point in Tower of God, because I don't think SIU knows what the fuck he's doing with man. He just stopped making sense. And like with Noblesse, it was cool for a while, but it come a point where like, as soon as Raziel and Frankenstein show up, me and my boy Alan, we start talking about what we think is happening next arc, because we already know the arc's over because they showed up. It's just like, how long will it take for them to get here?
And no, in a battle,
yes.
No.
Yes.
But in a battle, we're not getting into this again, Graham. You're wrong about Escanor. You're wrong. Merlin is worse than Escanor. That's a fact.
Right,
move
man.
on.
But when Escanor shows up, all right, that's right.
But the thing is that at the end of the day, when it takes away all the tension out of a battle manga, when you have when you have all these fights going on, and you literally have I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be something abstract and unique, but last time I checked, you don't have Goku beat up Frieza and then go fight the Ginyu Force. It doesn't work that way. So I can't care. I can't. No, hold on. I can't care about.
Wrong, because that's not where the story showed up. It's not.
But yeah, but then I'm not interested. Then I'm not interested in any of the fights.
That's fine.
Right now,
you've labeled it completely incorrectly. Orochi's not the final villain. He's not the worst thing there, and he's at the climax of the arc. Goro is. And he's been
who's the climax of the arc then?
Like I said 4 times, Goro is. He's been set up for 50 chapters. Goro has been set up as the final and the climax of the entire story of the main villain right now. Orochi showing up in the middle wasn't that. So you saying that all the tension's gone in the arc doesn't make any sense. The tension is still growing.
I think it is because literally
the heroes.
Tatsumaki has Gyogoro's number, so that's over, and fucking Orochi's gone. I have zero tension. No, actually, the only tension I have is when Garo comes back into the picture. Until Garo comes back in, I don't care. Because Atomic versus Black Sperm, who cares? My Mask versus Fear Ugly, who cares? Because it's all going to end, I don't like pointless. It's the reason right now, Seven Deadly Sins. Who cares how that Demon King battle is going to go?
So it's okay for a hero to go through an entire journey. Or no, I'll use exact examples. It's okay for Luffy to go through several islands every single time and come out and win, just like he's going to do every single time. But when the author decides to kill off one of the strongest villains in the middle of the arc to do something different, it's okay. But it's not okay. But it's okay to every single storyline, every single other arc for Luffy to just beat the minion and then go beat the main guy. The exact same way he did it the last arc. Run the entire time, run around, get lost, and then find the main guy and then beat him and then leave. Make some friends along the way. Save the dance from distress. Tell me it's like the architect for 15 of the arcs in One Piece, and that's okay.
I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying that One Piece, that arc would be really boring if he took out Kaido right now, and we still had 50 chapters of Wano left.
Not Kaido, like I've said.
I'm saying no, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If Luffy took out Kaido right now, like you're saying, in the middle of an arc, that because he's the villain of the arc, if he took him out, then the rest of Wano would be way more boring, and I know everybody would bitch, moan, and complain. I'm just saying that, it might be a cookie-cutter formula that a lot of shonen uses, but it doesn't mean that One Punch Man did it right either. For me, once again, it's just me, man. Maybe there is some grand overall scheme, and that's why I don't like One Punch Man as much, because I don't get it. But I literally can't have the tension when Saitama showed up. I had the tension when Saitama wasn't a factor in this huge fight, because it's like, who's going to fight Black Sperm? Who's going to fight Nyan? Who's going to fight this? All these
being in the fight. We're talking about Orochi dying. You said that.
Yeah, but Orochi
removed all the tension from the arc. While the main tension and the climax tension of the arc.
Okay, I'll correct. Saitama being there in the fight ruins the tension in the arc for me. Because he took out the only tension for me, Saitama was, is this going to be the fight? Is Orochi actually going to give Saitama a fight? I don't know. I don't read the webcomic. It could be Saitama might actually be pushed to his limit. I don't know, because I haven't really seen Orochi's hyped up as a super strong dude. And then he gets one punched, and that's the end of it by a normal punch. And I'm like, okay, but now the problem is that was my key, that these guys might actually be a threat, but there is no threat if Saitama already took out the dude. Like, for me personally, that's all I'm saying. Like, there is no threat on Namek if Goku takes out Frieza before the Ginyu Force show up. Ginyu Force showing up doesn't mean anything.
So once again, he did not take out the dude. Once again,
I think he did. You and I disagree.
No, there is no thinking. That's clear. There's no way you can read One Punch and not understand that Goro is the main villain.
So Gyogoro can take on Saitama then? That's your opinion. Like, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying. Goro.
You're ignoring what I'm saying.
Goro. I'm talking about Goro is the clear main villain of the arc of all of this. Since he first showed up in chapter 36 or whatever, he was the main villain the entire time. Orochi is not the main villain. So Orochi dying is not the end of the climax. Orochi dying is not killing Kaido. Orochi dying is not killing Frieza. Stop making that comparison to make it seem like
but I don't think Garo. So you believe that it's going to be Garo versus Saitama by the end of this arc?
I can't answer that question.
No, I don't know. Like, I didn't expect. Like, I expect Garo to basically slap some bitches, but I don't expect him to be the main thing. I think he's going to run away, and then he's going to be the next arc, and then I'm going to be hype as fuck. But I don't think Garo is going to actually like Garo versus somebody is going to be the main climax battle of this arc. Maybe that's where we got confused.
All of it. When I say arc, I'm talking about all of it. Garo's arc. Since Garo has been in the story, every single arc, every single portion, whatever you want to call it, or break it down as, he's been the main focus and the main villain. The main thing at the end. It's been Garo the entire time. He's always been the main focus. There's no way where you can read One Punch and not understand that Garo is the final goal in towards of who's going to fight who. And it's mainly his story as it's been to the main part. So I keep telling you, you can have that opinion about you want. I'm not telling you to censor or change your opinion about anything. We're having a discussion. But don't try to skew what the truth is to get your point across.
I'm not skewing the truth, man. I don't think Garo's going to fight at the end of this arc. So this arc means nothing to me because Orochi was taken out. Like, Boros was the main antagonist of his own arc. Garo was not. So regardless of Garo being there or not, you might say he's the main villain across the whole thing. Blackbeard's the whole villain of One Piece. Fucking whatever. It doesn't matter because if there's still arcs in a manga series, and Boros was still the hype moment, and that was the end of the arc. That was the last battle. I'm saying is that I believed that the big battle would be Saitama versus Orochi for this arc, this one contained arc, and it wasn't because it's taken out halfway through. So all the battles going on right now hold no tension for me because Orochi's been taken out. I don't think Garo's actually going to fight Saitama at the end of this. I don't think it's the end of One Punch Man. So because I think it's Saitama versus Garo is the final battle. Like that's the final.
Where's the tension in Luffy versus Kaido?
Where's the tension in what?
Where's the tension in Luffy versus Kaido?
A lot. He fucking got his ass kicked.
I have
money right now. No. Let's bet money right now. Let's bet $50 in whether Luffy and or the Luffy beats Kaido.
I'm not here.
Okay, Saitama versus everybody.
I'm not here to debate that
$100.
with you, Grim. But you're doing the thing Dustin does, right? Where, okay, so let's say there's two characters in two different series that run around a lot and yell really loudly. And in One Piece, Luffy yells a lot, right? And he runs around a lot. Because I like it in One Piece, and let's say I don't like it in like Black Clover because Ashley yells a lot, he goes, "Oh, but in One Piece you like it." They're not the same series. They're not always trying to convey the same things, and the styles are not always the same. They don't always translate over. Things are different. Like I don't think the style of One Punch Man and One Piece are similar. And the kind of caliber tier of villain that Kaido is in terms of Luffy being the challenger is different to me than Garo, because Garo's kind of going in the opposite direction. He's actually building the way a main character would to eventually be able to challenge Saitama, who's already established at the tip top. Like it's not the same dynamic. So I don't think that the example of Luffy and Kaido works the same way. I think you need a different example.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I can agree with that now. Yeah.
Well, then let me present.
But that being said, fuck one.
All right, because the point I'm trying to get across, like you said, is I'm not trying to get into no dust and shit. Like that's creditless as fuck. I'm not. No, I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to defend One Piece, One Punch from anything. Like I said before several times, you can have your opinion for whatever it is. I just don't like to discuss things that are not factual, especially when we have the facts to present them. In One Punch Man, the person who was the mainstay of this arc was not Orochi. He wasn't even presented as being the mainstay of this arc. The entire time, all the portions of the story.
I think it's Garo. I'm agreeing with you.
Yes, I agree. That's fine. Like I'm just pointing that out. So like we can all agree or disagree upon which fights we're more invested in, but that doesn't control the plot of the story. Us liking this character more doesn't mean that he's going to show up more often. He plays his role. It's like all these fights play their role. Orochi had a role to play in this arc. Just because we thought it was one thing doesn't mean it has to be that way.
Okay, then I tell you what, I'll agree.
One Piece. We didn't know that the rocks were there, but that came into play, and they've always been there. And it seems.
I'll tell you what. Then I'll agree. I'll agree with the fucking what you just said about Orochi. That like, okay, Orochi we were led to believe he was something, and he turned out to something else. I'll agree with that, and I'll agree. I fucking hate that. That's the problem. Then I don't like that we thought Orochi was bigger than he was, and he's not what we thought. I don't like that was the rug was pulled out under me on that. And because I think it was bad, I don't think it was good. It was that, and that's just me. That's
all you have to say, my nigga. You don't have to like make it seem like, oh, by default, this was that because of this. I disagree.
Well, I mean, I've been saying it's the same thing.
Uh-oh.
But
you're saying that trope works, but like we can't say that one trope is good or not.
I was dying.
We don't like that.
Okay.
They all work, man. If a nigga wants to use it, he want to use it.
Damn.
That
almost killed me in one hit. This is stupid.
We gotta do solo leveling real fast before we head out. We've been on for like 3 hours.
Okay, I gotta head out anyways, guys. I gotta finish cooking supper and stuff. I'm sure it's burnt by now, but I'll talk to everyone later on. This has been an entertaining stream for sure. Thank you to Grim Reaper for always hosting like a boss.
And then we gotta add that.
And yeah. What? Boo, Jesus Christ!
Cancer's
key. Okay, I'm just gonna plug my channel then. Yeah, guys, Griever, follow me because I'm awesome and I'm more credible than Grim. Okay, bye.
Edit that part out right there.
Edit that out. Okay, peace.
Edit it in post.
Yeah, in post on a live stream. Edit it in post. Yeah.
You have to. You can't do it. Even if you, because once you delete it.
So one of the main things I want to talk about for solo was I was complaining for a while that we hadn't really gotten like development for characters, both fight wise and out of fight wise, and it showed one of the problems showed up again, but it was one of the issues was resolved. Fight wise, we hadn't seen the S class, and I was complaining about that because it was complete rank or level of fighters that we were around all the time, but we haven't seen them fight yet. They were getting hyped up, and now we finally gotten that chance in the recent chapters. The second part that I think still hasn't been answered is the issue with character development. The prime example is the girl Chai Hei, the female S rank, right next to the Ultimate Soldier. So previously, whenever Sung was messing with her guild for the first few times, and she happened to be investigating the situation, she was super curious about Sung Jin Woo and who he was, his dynamic, his powers, the aroma around him, his demeanor, everything. And as more information got revealed and as she was exposed more to him, she became even more curious, and she gained even more reason to be curious. But as of the completion of the demon castle, and as we move forward past those points, it seems like she's gained acceptance, or like she's gotten to a point in her characterization with that issue that isn't, I don't know, I don't want to say necessarily like founded, but I don't know what happened. Like it seems like they're just cool, or like she's just fine, or like there's no tension involved between them anymore, and it wasn't addressed that way. So I'm kind of upset that like things are turning out like this. I don't know. I'm not sure if you caught up yet, or
it's just one of those things about these Korean webtoons that just end up being a problem, because the main characters end up being this super powerful, charismatic, ultimate like Chad of a dude or person, where like people around them just gravitate, and if they had any issue with them at some point, it just kind of just stops. You're like, wait a minute, I thought you had this thing you were gonna do to this character, or this you felt this way towards them, and they end up like gravitating towards them, siding with them, most of the time falling in love with them. I don't know what it is with the Korean writing, but this is so common, right? So with even what's his name, Shin Jin Woo, I can't remember his name right now. So leveling, it just doesn't shock me, because I've seen this in Tower of God, I've seen this in Noble 7, I've seen this in Gosu, even with Chubbs, with the Witch Ninja Girl, and the one at the like shop, and like certain people just kind of just gravitate towards him, even though he is who he is. You see this in like God of High School, you see this up in Cabrera, you see this in Lookism, you see this in Girls of the Wild, you see this. I could keep going, list don't stop. It just keeps going. I don't know what it is about them. I don't know why they do this. It's such a weird thing. And even Tower of God with Bam is just like, It's like if me, let's say you're the main character, and like I have beef with you because like you.
Cut out. Yo. Yo, you cut out. Naya? Bro, I really can't hear you, Naya. 1 second. Let's see if we fix it. Yo. Damn. Alright, well I guess Naya shit malfunction. Yeah, let's adjust 50 more points in solo. But yeah, man, I kind of wanted that girl to develop a stronger relationship. I'm not saying that there's completely no chance that it's gonna happen. I'm not saying that at all. It may be that he's gonna develop that relationship later on. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because like she looked at Sung like it was nothing, but like she didn't really have like that strong of expression in her eyes when he came in and saved her and shit. And it's like you guys really never really like had an interaction like that. Like yeah, he got you guys out of the dungeon and shit, but like that was that, and that wasn't now. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of confused. Like, all right, 1 second. Let me see. Fly up. Ooh. Man did that little nice, bro. Niggas out here trying to win the clouds. This shit look nice up in here, bruh. Alright, nice little cloud. See, look over to the sides. Oh, look at that. Look, the colorful gardens and shit. We may need to adjust that though, cause we can't really see over that. But it does look nice in here, low key, bro. I fuck with it, bro. Hell yeah. Alright. Bet. Dang, he even put like the razors of fortune in these two, bro, from the trees. That shit look legitimate, my nigga. Legitimate. Alright, bet. Cause I saw Gorilla in the thumbnail. This nigga, bro. The little area you told me to start at. Chronic Chris. Hey, you gonna have to scroll back up, bro. We was talking about Gorilla earlier. Let me see. Or yeah, where'd I tell you, bro? Fuck. Damn, nigga, where the fuck you at? Oh, damn, this bitch look cute, nigga. That bitch straight up do look cute, bro. Hell yeah, nigga. Hell yeah. Damn, yo, with the lanterns in the top, bro. My nigga, this that setup,
Hello,
bro. You can't even go.
I don't know what I liked. I like that so hard. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened, bro. I'm like, I thought you streamed that at first. I'm like, oh, he did it. And I looked at it, I'm like, no way, his stream's still going. I'm like, wait a minute. My shit said voice connected, disconnected. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I heard what you were saying though. I feel what you were saying about her though. Like it's kind of just I don't know. It's weird, but it's just something I got used to.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right,
But what I was gonna say real quick, is I find there's a couple distinctions between. I'll name kind of four major places: Korea, Japan, Europe, North America. In terms of writing and how they approach things, I think they kind of have four distinct ways of approaching it, and ultimately why I don't really separate comics, graphic novels, manhwa, whatever you want to call them. To me, they're just graphic novels, pictures and words in the book. too much because I think they're all the same thing. It's just that the main difference is style, traditions, societal values, ethics, and moralities that come from their place of origin. So obviously in Japan, they're a different type of community that we are over here in North America. The way they do things in their country is not the way we do things in our country.
Mhm.
Something as simple as walking down the street, eating and drinking food is like not something you can do in Japan, which over here no one's gonna bat an eye on it. Cultural differences. So you can see the cultural values of Japan and Japanese people and such into politics in their work. Like I don't know if you know this, but apparently you've seen part 5 of JoJo,
Yeah.
right? You know how Mista this is like the number 4
Uh-huh.
or whatever. That's a thing. Like 4 is kind of like their unlucky number 13, and I don't know if America does this, but for us in Canada, let's say we have a building and there's 20 floors. There's no number 13th floor. It goes 12, 14.
I
So,
think there's a concept
so,
like that.
so it's like a superstition
Oh
thing.
yeah, I've
So
heard that before. I'm not sure if we do it here, or
yeah,
it's definitely not universal.
yeah. So you'll see like Piccolo in the manga has 4 fingers. In the anime, he has 5. Why? Because 4 is an unlucky number. Therefore, on Japanese air television, they actually portray him with 5 fingers instead because of whatever cultural thing it is. So what like Korean manhwas, I feel like a super power fantasy main character seems to be the norm in terms of strength, charisma, charm, likability, things, all of those things in conjunction with beauty because of K-pop culture and stuff like that. Like beauty's a really big part of Korean writing. They care about things looking beautiful, people being beautiful, and things that are ugly and undesirable are unpleasing to the eye are not something that you want to really deal with. And I see this across the board with a lot of their manhwas. Whereas like in North American writing, we seem to really value like guns and violence and things of that nature. But like it's a lot of contrasting styles, and I guess one of the things Koreans just do is just like, yo, this main character raw, everyone liked them, and doesn't matter what they were thinking at one point. You just go cut that and make them be on their side. I guess that's what something they do. I don't know. I'll look into it more, maybe, and see like if I can find something deeper than that. But yeah, it's interesting though, because even China, their style of writing is even different from like Korea and Japan with how they do some things.
That'd be one of the more
Obviously.
unique things, yeah. Because that their all their art and culture should have like the biggest signature of their culture. You're right, but like you would think that there would be some like that's true. Right, there are some universal like things that are concrete or standard for all writing, right? Regardless of like culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like certain tropes. Like what is it? I was listening to this shit on this is fucking they use this for dating, like all different kinds of cultures and like in for historic research and stuff like that. But like it's called the hero's journey. I think it is.
Yes,
Yeah,
the hero's journey.
yeah. It's the Bible. Half the Bible is hero's journey. A bunch of shit like that. It's a human story. Since like since like the beginning of time, which is the beginning of humanity or whatever, people have been telling the story of the hero's journey and shit. So you'd assume that there would still be some more like universal things out there in storytelling.
Yeah, it's been being used since I think I think 1950. But yeah, the call to adventure, the nines of adventure, acceptance, this thing, all that stuff. It's a common thing, and like really good authors, what they like to do is use the hero's journey template, but play with it. So they might switch up the order or subvert one of the orders. So like maybe the call to adventure, the hero might actually be really excited about it instead of denying, like, no, I don't want to be a hero. They might even be like, oh yeah, I'm in there. Let's do it. You're fighting evil, like they might do something like that to like kind of play with it. So yeah, hero's journeys are pretty good template. What's his name? Josh Campbell, something like that.
I think so.
Something we learned in school. I remember that stuff. But yeah.
All right.
Goated.
But that's gonna be it for this session's weekly roundup. I want to give a shout out to our patrons Life Plus and Joseph. I also want to give a shout out to Vope and McDude from the Discord. They're the guys that you guys saw on stream, helping us build the different parts of the Shogunate on the Minecraft server. If you guys want to join us and add to the community and have fun and just participate in the streams and stuff and build, just come through. We're gonna be starting our survival campaign in a few weeks once we get all the players in. So make sure you come through before that point. Shout out to all the people, all the different content creators that came through today. The weekly roundup, talk One Piece, One Punch, Seven Deadly Sins, solo leveling.
Yep.
Check out Naya D Hemming. Bro, what's the main thing you doing right now? Bro? What's the main thing you cover?
I guess at this point I'm kind of a webtoon merchant, so I'll say a Tower of God, an Ordinary, then One Piece. Kind of like that order.
All right, yeah, that sound like
I still do the comic book and video game content are just kind of more scarce, and same team with JoJo, but just like the thing people definitely come for the most is Tower of God and then Ordinary at this point. And then One Piece maybe. One Piece might be over on Ordinary, but you know, who doesn't do One Piece though? So it's not really like I'm not unique in that facet.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll see y'all boys. Make sure you like, subscribe to the video. We'll come back with the more shit, with that greatness. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Yo!
Metal Bat to go.